Howdy, folks. Welcome to Alberon RPG. This is Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your GM this evening and joining me are my friends Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari. We're back after a 2-week break. And happy to be back. Very much happy to be back. We're going to play Starfinder, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First, there's a couple of different ways that you can support the stream. The first is through channel points, and you may notice that there are fewer options available than there were previously. That may be because one of these story arcs is resolved. So there will be a new trio of options actually next week that you'll be able to choose from. So stay tuned for that. And then you can also use bits, which are Twitch's microcurrency. Those directly support the stream by translating directly into money. It helps with all kinds of stuff like cool miniatures. You can see mostly snacks on the table at the moment.
Wait, but look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Look how cool this is.
Yeah.
Hold
Also,
on. Kara made this. It's a book. Hold on. It's a book.
Kara, let me just put it on your camera.
And then look what Kara made. I'm not, going higher than Ari, but mine's way cooler.
Yeah,
Kara's
so cool.
the best
stuff. Super cool.
So 2-week break, well deserved for Kara.
Yeah.
All of us did fuck all except Kara.
I mean, I was on a beach for a long time. Anyways, bits super helpful, and those can unlock. I beached so good. Bits unlock direct session rewards that happen in the session live. They can do things like supply weapons. They can do things like invite a Mosaic intern, even a professional bounty hunter, maybe even one of the ones that has already been met this campaign. So
he's an outlaw now, isn't he?
Isn't he the worst coworker of all time.
No, we don't,
corpse.
We don't know.
Anyways, bits, maybe you'll find out by using bits. And then we are at Alberon RPG on social media. That includes Threads. That also includes TikTok, I guess. So you can go to tiktok.org, tik.talk. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, you can go there.
I think it's tik.talk.
Tik.talk. And you can go to Alberon RPG. That's our thing. And then also Instagram. That's where we post a lot of maps, miniatures, all the close-up little things that you can't see through the big camera. You can see there. And then tomorrow, which is Friday, we are going to be resuming our D&D campaign, Courts of Everest. Courts of Everest, which is going to be session 29. We are getting into the deeper parts of the, Kirlor Tel Eldar, the ruins of a keep. And so that's going to be something happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join us for that. We had summer one-shots over the last 2 weeks. So last week we had Camp Bright Cove, an original D&D campaign set in canon to this campaign, or to Friday's campaign. That was a summer camp-themed one-shot where everything went swimmingly, and there was little badges that were handed out that had buffs temporarily and all kinds of cool stuff. So that is on YouTube at Alberon RPG, along with our original Starfinder one-shot, The Influencers, which had many of the individuals around the table here, along with some other guests who took on the role of social media influencers in the year 2250. So that is also on YouTube. Everything went perfectly fine for that as well. And then finally, for the music that hopefully you can hear in the background, this kind of Western music. I'll just jack it up for just a second. Also, all kinds of little sound effects, like, oh, my mouse froze. Like snakes in a pit, I was gonna say, but that'll happen later. Oh yeah, we can make our own.
I'm a snake.
I'm in a pit. I can't reach. Help me.
I'm a snake.
So we may have a lot of Western music tonight, we'll see. But Sirenscape digital toolset that you can use, it is not broken, it is just my computer, that is.
Replacement coming soon.
Yeah. Oh, I have a mouse that I brought and I don't know where I put it. Anyways, and then, it's back.
Hey.
So things like snakes in a pit. Oh, come on,
I heard it.
Yeah, it was really quiet.
It also might be a gas.
Okay, could also be that. We have things like a drum set. We have things like a Wilhelm scream. All these things and more. Sirenscape digital tool set, not a sponsor.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. All right, and with that, we will go into our recap. Thank you, Western music.
You're welcome, Joe.
All right. Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, All of you at the Alcaraz Crossroads boarded the Tony Express, a train, such as it were, that travels across 2 different solar systems, bringing both passengers and cargo in a much cheaper route than using fuel and drift travel. You received a tour, some of you, beginning in first class and working your way from the back of the ship up for Echo's birthday party. Being able to observe all the different compartments and the various mechanisms. Gibbs, you were able to talk your way into the very front of the ship and get a tour of the engine, much more recent and modern than the rest of the craft. But for those of you not invited aboard the tour, you were stuck aboard passenger cart number 2. And you were able to see, by walking backwards, some of the more limited sections. You were able to see a Wayoko bachelor party taking place with Thad, Chad, Brad, and other Wayoko companions. You were able to see there was a arthropod's right movement with a disguised lobster man, although the man part being somewhat questionable as it gurgled away in its seat. Gibbs, you invited this lobster creature up to first class and have it currently sitting in your tank-like seat at the moment. But I mean, you do what you want to do. Over the course of the trip, you helped people with crossword puzzles. You had some nice snacks. You noticed that there was a few losses in power. And over the course of your trip, it seemed that one of these losses in power resulted in the refrigerated car malfunctioning and a tremendous number of snakes arriving on the train. You fought the snakes on the train, sort of successfully, losing a number of the passengers in the process. Rod Titanium, a few of the other folks, but ultimately you managed to succeed, getting many of the passengers to safety in the front 2 carts. And Shade, you got the final blow, decapitating one of these snakes. And as the panic begins, and also Gibbs, your wall of steam, having sublimated all of the septic system's moisture into the air, which is currently hanging as a thick green fog. That is where we're beginning this evening. Give me just 1 second.
Are we not facing off against the...
Yeah, so you guys are
You
there.
are.
the short
I'm
point
separated.
guards? Yeah.
So you guys should go first.
Okay, I'll start there.
Yeah, please.
1 second there. Oh, you know what? Perfect music already.
Yeah, my hands were up and I was like, Mosaic Team 5!
Okay.
And I had just tried to hack and then got hacked, right?
You got...
Or I got
Ghost.
yeah, I
Ghost
got
tagged or whatever.
You got ghosted.
they're looking through my eyeballs or something.
Sort of. It's kind of... I don't think you actually got too much of an insight as to what happened, but something very similar
Yeah.
to what you could do. So, for you, Shade and Bubbles, you are sitting towards... Or not sitting. You're standing towards the back of the ship. The very final car that you can get to before you actually get into the cargo cart that had been secured previously. The door is now open, and you can see the sort of cloaked ship, although currently not active. This cutting-edge prototype starship that I believe, Bubbles, you had recognized, was coated with the same feeling from same kind of paint that was part of Project Cuttlefish. This active stealth camouflage. On the other side of this door, there is a number of individuals who, as the door opens up, you can see are all wearing shore point. You can see a little lighthouse and this beam of light coming out across it, the insignia. And a few of you, I believe, recognize this as a private security firm. I believe a few more of you recognize that this is a firm that is oftentimes associated with Jacinto, a corporation that you have come across several times. Some of you more than others. So, what do you want to do? You can see there is an android,
Are
seemingly.
they still pointing their guns at us?
I'll repeat.
Yeah.
Mosaic Team 5! We're here!
We're here.
To help!
Make a diplomacy check, taking -2 conditional modifier for "we're here" being your disarming statement.
To help.
And what are you doing, Shade?
That's a 19.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still behind Bubs, I think, but I'm gonna lower my weapons.
Plus 5 is
Spice.
24.
Me? I thought you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, 24 my diplomacy.
Okay.
We're here.
Okay. So you put up your hands. We're here, and you are like just sweating. There is like kind of fizzing across elements of the field around you. These little bits of like snake that are now just kind of dissolving, and all around you, you can just smell urine and chemical cloud. Not you, but the rest. Really, mostly you, Shade. Instantly, you can see the android begins to talk, and then their mouth just clamps shut. And they motion for you to enter into this secure room.
Me?
Both of you.
Okay.
Spice is also in there.
Yeah,
Are you as
Spice is
Yeah,
Okay,
behind
yeah.
us
So
too.
what,
Yeah.
so what are you doing?
Spice is looking at this Starfinder, whatever the box is in the middle.
Make an engineering check. Are you stepping in with the two of them as well?
If this doesn't come out cool, 15.
This is an interceptor. You can tell from the sleek design, the fact that it's only piloted by one person. It's not really designed for bombing things. There is no secondary weapon station, though you do see there are hard points affixed to it, so weapons could be attached. There is no paint, there is no emblems, and you being a former fighter pilot in a different military, would recognize that those should be there, and so this is not probably attached to anything, sold to anybody. This is like a prototype. Outside of that, you don't really see very much else. It doesn't look a whole lot like things you've seen before.
Okay.
Are you stepping into the room?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. You step into the room.
Like I said, we're Mosaic Team 5. This is our captain, Jade.
Bubs.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay. And I'm gonna just go and I'm just gonna slowly like see if it's okay if I can just pick up my hammer and just put it on my side. Are they okay with that?
So you see one of them, they raise this rifle up a little bit, but the android who seems to be in charge of the other two just puts the head out or the hand out and just goes, "It's okay, Tag." And they turn to the other person and they say, 34. Check the other passengers. And this other person just kind of like heads off. Very much in like, I don't think you guys have seen this armor yet, but it's like almost like plastic plate mail. It has this reflective nature to it, like very much like Stormtrooper armor,
Yeah.
except dark gray, and it has almost this carbon fiber texture to it.
Esteem.
But
Is
they make
Dag
their way
the
up.
same Dag that we saw in ours?
This is
right?
Tag.
Oh, Tag.
so
I heard
So it's
Tag.
Tag 34 and the unnamed android.
correct.
No, I thought 34 would be the
No, 34 is the
What
soldier
species
armor.
is 34?
You're not there?
No.
So you all enter into this room, and instantly it's like the fog clears, and you can hear there is this, and there is like active venting here. This seems to be a much more secure kind of cart, and it's designed to be able to kind of take toxins and stuff out of the air. So instantly, though it does still smell a little bit like urine and Bubs, you can see on Shade like little bits of condensation that you are positive is not just water. And it's like on the other people too, but for the two of you in the actual carts, it's pretty gross. But you guys enter into this room. One of them heads off, and then the door shuts behind them. And the two of you are there, and you can see the door that they have come from is still open.
Three spices
and
in here, Joe.
so, oh yeah, right, and Spice is in there as well. And so for the three of you, you can see that door on the other side is open. And that seems to be a relatively standard passenger cart, although you can see hard cases, there's extra ammunition, very much...
Like their storage.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like data pads and stuff, so like they were hanging out in there as well, but absolutely designed to be here for securing this cargo.
What happened on your guys' end? Over on our side, we just saw snakes and we had to evacuate a bunch of people.
There were snakes on the train back here too. He turns. Do either of you know where they came from? Has anybody boarded the craft?
It seems like when the power went out, something within there set the cage free in the passenger car, or the storage car. What is it? 3 in front? Cargo number 3 before the freight car,
Okay.
right? I think.
No,
No,
it was
it's,
like 4 more before ours, so it was probably like 8 or 9.
It's the last one before the prototype.
before the dining car.
cuttlefish.
It's the dining
Cargo
car,
5.
and
Yeah,
then
cargo 5, not cargo 3. Cargo
So
5.
you say cargo 5, and he kind of nods, turns, and just says, "Tag, go check that out. Find out where it came from and where it was going." And this other individual just kind of like nods. You can see the visor back. This is a human, but they take off in that direction.
Is an android 899?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 26.
No.
Okay.
Very different looking. So you can see the skin is actually a little bit grayish. Definitely synthetic flesh for the most part.
Okay.
The eyes are also like this. Now that combat has died down, actually, they seem to have changed a little bit and they look a little bit more human. And they don't have any hair. This is an individual who, as like the helmet is, the visor is a little bit open now. No bangs or anything that hangs down. Not like the spiky hair that you saw on the Echo unit on the Wanter poster. You don't see those like glowing eyes. Definitely different.
Okay.
But he turns and he just says, "You said you were associated with Mosaic Team 5?"
We are Mosaic Team 5.
He turns and you can see there's just like lights going down, and you've seen very much like going through the infosphere, running like a background check on you guys. What's your wisdom scores?
My wisdom?
Yeah.
Just flat.
Yeah.
Plus 3.
Okay.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
12.
Okay.
That makes the checks.
Shade, for just a moment, you see, and maybe part of it is this like android thing where you negate each other's like negatives, but for just a moment, it's like the eyes linger on Spice for a little bit longer. But the little data stream just fades, and they seem to just kind of nod. And they said, "Then you're aware that there is an Echo unit that is going to raid this train.
Yes, we're after that Echo unit.
We need to be on alert. I believe they may be on board."
I am assuming that the target that they're after is the prototype in the other freight car.
That is our assumption as well.
Are y'all bounty hunters?
He turns and kind of gestures to the insignia on his chest. "We represent Shorepoint Security."
That doesn't answer my question.
He turns back to you, Shade, and he says, "If you and your team can secure the front of this train, we can take the back."
There's nothing suspicious about this Echo, not this Echo unit, this other android.
Make a sense motive check.
I'm gonna just whisper to Spice, "Babe, they're private contractors. They don't do that kind of
Because
stuff."
the inclination is
Aren't
that
bounty
they're
hunters
working with
private
Jacinto, and
contractors?
we're contracted
Well,
by
independent
Jacinto at the moment.
There's,
So
there's difference.
that's
That's a good question. Yeah.
oh god.
I thought so
With
too.
my negatives, that's a 10.
Okay. With a 10, really hard to tell. You know, it's almost like whatever it was, that little glitch, they're not using it to look through your eyes, but they're causing it to be a little bit harder for you to ascertain what it is that they're doing. But they're actively doing that. It's not something that is discreet or hidden. But yeah, hard to tell.
My inclination is to believe them, but also okay. I'm gonna ping to Echo on the Whispercom actually to see what they're up to.
Okay.
Cause yeah, they're presumably still towards the front of the train.
No problem.
But yeah, still holding this conversation with the android. But we can like.
What do you?
skip
So
back
what do
to
you
it.
send over to Echo?
What's your status?
I have just been awaiting orders. No, no, I haven't.
I have just been waiting orders.
I have been monitoring the situation at the front of the train.
Gibbs is also at the front of the train too.
All right. We're at the back of the train with Shorepoint security.
Is that wise?
There was no other choice.
For the two of you, like crystal clear, this communication because it's happening in your heads. However, if this was a regular communicator, you would be hearing a tremendous amount of background noise. So in the car that you guys are on, almost everybody from the back is now crowded into the front two cars. And so, like, there are all these Wayokos who are just like, bro, I can't believe there was so many snakes. And, like, you can see this Dralic, the long, curved, almost like hammerhead-looking face is, like, a little bit weepy looking, and they're kind of, like, shaking. The tattoos all, like, beginning to quiver. Their skin seems to almost become, like, a little bit looser on their body as they get sad.
Does anyone seem slightly more calm?
Make a sense motive check.
So the passengers have started to like barricade themselves.
Not barricade. They're all just like back up in this place,
Okay.
and nobody else has come through the doors. There's been some effort to like pull bags and stuff and like kind of barricade it, but in no real secure
Right.
way. 18. You look around and you do see that dwarf asleep, just straight up asleep in one of these chairs. But aside from that, people panicking, talking. The Wayokos seem to have kind of formed this circle and are now just like saying the same thing in a circle.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Bro, did you see that snake? Oh yeah, it was like slithering. Bro, that snake? Yeah, it was slithering. And like just yeah.
Echo's like, I assume, like squished up against a bunch of other people. And it's like, I am supremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Gibbs had let the passengers go, guided them to not be dumbasses. Fought the snake, and so it's like kind of like one car back.
Yep, you're by yourself.
And is going to start sort of picking her way because she knows the location of everyone in her party.
Yep.
But a lot of people got hurt in the snake's like tidal waves.
Oh yeah.
So we'll sort of start to like see if any of those people can be rescued or like helped in any meaningful way.
So heading backwards, away from where all the passengers went.
Well, are any of them obviously hurt? Like, did anyone get into the cart like with bites or anything?
Make a medicine check.
Okay,
You, like,
sorry. So I'll-
scamper up and you.
for bites.
Echo, you're very uncomfortable, and you turn and you can see like through the very narrow window, Gibbs just and like the little like Yusoki
17.
face. You see there is a dead dwarf just kind of slumped over in one of the chairs, but
Okay.
aside from that, people are standing, they're talking, they're panicking.
Okay.
Nobody seems to be immediately in like medical duress.
Okay. I do that thing that they give you advice on when you go through first aid training. I just point to somebody, and I'm like, "You should call the conductor," and I'll give them Tony Tony's phone number and be like,
How are you gonna give them the phone number? The communication number?
572-389.
So you hear over you don't hear over the hubbub. You see Gibbs just mouthing things.
No, I point to somebody, make eye contact, and then tell them the instructions that I want them to do. It's like, you know
We're
when
in
you're like,
separate cars.
Yeah.
oh, never mind.
You guys are looking through this
Never
like
mind.
little
All right,
connected
then I
area.
give up on all of that when I realize that I don't want to open the door because they seem safe in there, and I'm gonna go back and start picking my way backwards. Oh wait, you good? Pull out a new green bean can, and I'm
Okay.
like, "Come this way, Echo."
So you start just motioning, and Echo, you get the sense that Gibbs is trying to summon you.
Echo like tries to start moving and trying to make sure that the crowd doesn't come with them.
You start moving, and it's kind of like the Wayokos begin to shift with you a little bit, but almost like a cell separating you just and pop away, and they kind of like boom, back into this little group. But no problem. You get to the door, it open, and you can step into this very like cool, increasingly more. So it's a trade-off. You get away from the people instantly, much more urine just hanging in the air, coating the sides of the wall, the ceiling just dripping off. Gibbs had cast Wall of Steam into all of the toilets and sublimated every ounce of the septic system into the air.
It's great.
The other door opens and it gets even more intense, and you see Gibbs, whose fur all wet.
All good though. Happy camper Gibbs. Hey. Oh, just don't breathe through your mouth. Breathe through your gills. Your gills? You've both got gills. Let's go.
The sensors in my nose are pinging.
Yeah.
I do not like it.
Yeah.
I would like to leave.
Okay. Well, it's this way the whole way, so...
Maybe I should investigate the front cars in the train.
Sure, you should go tell Tony Says Tony what happened.
Whisper calm.
I am in
Shore
distress.
Point wants us to check the front cars.
I should check the front of the train. Echo's like... Echo doesn't pale because you would require better blood flow underneath the skin, and it's, you know, it's donated skin.
The eyes become a little bit like lighter. They begin to flicker a little.
Goodbye. Are you okay?
I will be fine.
Here, take this, and I hand you a basic med kit. I have an extra one.
Echo like goes through and looks for a face mask.
Yeah, there's like a little paper face mask. No
It's got a little doodle written on it. I used it for notes during a phone call once. No, I'm kidding.
I think this is worse.
Okay. Enough talking. I gotta go. Ba-ba-ba-ba-doo.
Echo heads towards the front cars.
As they're doing that, I'm gonna be talking with the SharePoint people. Be like, oh yeah, I killed like so many snakes and like all that stuff. You know, we'll totally like check up on like what's going on the front.
Bubs.
Yeah.
The rest of our team is at the front of the ship, along with most of the members on most of the passengers on the shuttles.
You can see they seem to consider that for a moment, and then they say, we should work together and spread out, space out amongst the cars.
Do you want our contact information? And I'm gonna like move my comm over to like try to like bump comms or whatever they do.
You can see they kind of like pull their arm away a little bit, and they say, we should maintain visual contact. They turn, and you can see they look back and then look at you, and they say, I'll remain in this hangar cart. The two of you should move forward.
Is it
I'll remain in this
just 'cause
hangar
the
cart. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not there.
I'll remain in this hangar cart with you,
You should go into the rear cart.
which is the one behind us.
Further
Presumably-
back.
There's one more behind, and
Yeah.
that's the drift driver. Yeah.
That's
How
the
about
one
you go
that they
back
can
there?
That's
detach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the farthest one
Yep.
back. Yeah.
Yep. My responsibility is to watch this ship and to ensure that it gets to Prime Station safely. What is your
What
responsibility?
business do you have with that ship?
Make a diplomacy check.
Don't mind if I do.
Hey, now the person who can actually do that.
First time in the campaign. 65 sessions and we got there.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's gonna be so
boy.
good. It's gonna be so good.
Oh, okay. 18.
We have to do math.
High math, though.
33.
Oh, that's good.
33 plus 5.
38.
38.
38. This was an
Here's my
appointed
life story.
contract. We are on our way to the Katydid Corral and Casino, where we are to guard a 1.3 million credit statue en route to Prime Station.
Wow, that is an expensive statue. What is it of?
Hang on one second. I'll look at my notes here.
He said it's at the
38 on a
Katydid.
bad roll.
Yeah, it's going from the Katy Corral to Prime Station.
Yeah.
This is just to get this.
That's
Yeah.
so wild. 38 on a bad roll.
No, it was
wasn't a bad roll. It was a
roll.
fantastic roll.
Natural
I was like,
18.
that's
Oh,
nuts. That's
nice.
nuts.
So a 40 is a natural 20. That's pretty fucking good.
This is a statue of the mistress, Tiffany Crystal.
I
And
don't know.
they
Tiffany.
say that just like you should probably know who that is.
I don't know who that is. Can you
Do-
tell me?
Any of us know who that is?
Or can I like?
Make a culture check.
Okay.
Yeah. Could I also?
Sure, make a culture
Tiffany
check.
who?
Tiffany
Tiffany
Crystal.
Crystal.
Is that with a K?
It is absolutely with the
I
K.
knew it.
I don't know who the fuck this is.
17.
7.
Okay.
Wait. So this is so.
Is that one of them's new TikTok influencers?
Not sponsored. I don't know.
It's spelled
25.
Man, I get the
TYK.
side of my tongue real hard. What?
25.
25. With the 25, you would, after looking it up for a second and kind of clicking through, Tiffany Crystal was one of the great performers of the Katydid Corral and Casino. And you note that the big performance, one of the big draws there, and what this individual had done prior to the current person taking over was working in something called the Snakes of Slathatha strip show. This is and you go and like pull up some video clips of it, and it's like, it's only in 4K. It's like old tapes that were probably taken on communicators, but you can see this woman fighting huge snakes, very similar to the ones that you all fought. And like as it's fighting, if you've ever seen like the 1960s like Superman comics or cartoons, anytime that there's somebody trapped in the wilderness, all of a sudden instantly their clothes are like shredded. So that's exactly what she looks like wearing like a leopard skin for some reason, but like very much in a cyberpunk arena. So a little bit mismatched, but you can see like a couple of videos of that, and seemed to be the former person that did that. They were very famous, and this is somebody who, similar to like maybe like Carmen Electra in the 90s, has a lot of fans who like are paying a lot of money for their merchandise now that they're retired. That's what you know about this individual.
And they're cleaning up the casino and bringing it to Prime Station?
Yes.
Okay.
Then why do they have this prototype interceptor?
They said it was an appended contract.
Oh.
Who sent you? Who gave you the contract? Was it Jacinto?
Jacinto gave us the appended contract.
What was the person's name from Jacinto? My best friend there is named Lydell.
Lydell Wilcost.
Yes. Is he the one who sent you?
He nods when he says Lydell Wilcost, and you say yes. Then you say, is he the one you sent you? And he just kind of looks at you, but he turns and says, is your team in position? We need to be ready, and it's only 2 hours until we get to the K-Dig Corral Casino.
I text and I say, any sign of the Echo? Do you want me to ping for her? But I put ping in like wibbly wobbly RuneScape, like the letters go like blue, blue, blue.
Okay. Yeah, your like device begins to slow down as Gibbs somehow like in a very, very unconventional way hacks in this strange kind of like movement. But yeah, no problem.
Implying that I mean magically, not
I'm gonna
logically.
respond to Gibbs. Meet with Echo at the front of the car.
Already did. She is gonna go elsewhere. I'm looking for survivors as I'm like texting and walking, being like, are you dead? And like he can feel my feet.
Okay.
And so there are a number of people who are certainly dead.
Is there anyone worth saving? I mean, if they're dead.
With your previous medicine check,
Okay.
and also because they are dead, probably not. You know, and a lot of the corpses are partially eaten out. They're bloated.
Right.
They're beginning to like have these almost poison-filled sacs like burst as you're walking by. There are a few who have eyes bulging out that seem to have been blinded by venom similar to what some of you have actually been stung by, although resisted.
Can I do nothing? Because it wouldn't be a Gibbs thing to do.
What?
I was going to the Ariana wants to mutilate a corpse to steal the poison, but Gibbs would not. Gibbs
Okay.
would respect a corpse better
No
than
problem. And for what it's worth, there is urine and septic fluid dripping into all of this because that is now like coming down the windows and down the walls.
There's just poison
that.
everywhere.
It doesn't super bother Gibbs. Like,
no,
she's okay,
but more that it kind of dilutes it to the
yeah.
point that it wouldn't really be effective.
Do I run into 34 as I'm like,
Yeah, I would say when you get to the cart where they are looking at the actual refrigerated thing, and it's crawling with like dead snakes that are like partially boiled and scalded. And there are some of them that have been shot, other ones that Bubbles had crushed. But you can see they're like moving this huge empty metal crate around. And they're like typing something into their communicator. And when they look up, they like level this rifle at you for a second, but then you can see something come up on their overhead display. And they lower it a little bit.
Can I get a physical description of 34?
Yeah, sure. 34 looks like they're wearing this glossy, almost stormtrooper-like armor.
Yeah.
And so that includes an entire faceplate, almost like a riot shield mask.
Oh,
so you
okay.
don't really see any face.
Hi. Hello.
They just kind of nod to you. They go back, and you can see they like take a picture of this label. And they send, and at this point you hear like a little beep as this unnamed individual looks at their communicator. But they look back up at you, and their head just kind of turns, very much like yours, questioningly.
Hi.
They just, again, they look a little bit odd, and then they just kind of, again.
So, we'll get going, I guess. Gibbs, we have to go.
Oh, I'm a cart behind still. I'm in the
Yeah, it's
I'm in-
us three
it's
in one.
crate cart, ship cart, your cart.
34 is.
I thought
been
about
given
leaving the
orders to walk
train
towards
on
the
here,
front.
but
Oh,
then
there you go.
you guys are so
Already-
unpredictable. I didn't know where we were going to
He
go.
sent us up to the front of the
Um,
train.
So
I can
do
pull
you
it out if
respond
you
to
want
my
helpful, though.
text?
I have it still set up.
The last one,
Yeah. Should I use my magic to be magical and see if Echo's near
I
here?
repeat the message before. Meet up with Echo at the front of the train. Period. Something is off.
Echo sends a message to Shade. It's just text. It says shore point count.
Shore point count. Yes, I respond with 3. 1 heading towards you.
Stopped at me. I text.
So, Spice, you're gonna go that way, and me and Shaber, we're gonna go back?
Oh, I'm gonna watch this prototype with my full attention.
With all due respect, I'm not going to have my team enter into the final cart. We need more information if I'm to trust you.
You could see. Make a diplomacy check.
Fucking diplomacy.
Can I somehow help? Is there a help action?
Can I
It's
sense
Starfinder.
motive the non-speaking guy?
Yeah.
Can I? Is that a? Do I think it's a mechanical preference, like a medical preference, or like a personality preference?
Yeah. Make a sense motive check.
My diplomacy is especially bad, so that's another 10.
Natural 20 on the worst question ever.
So, well, we'll see.
Okay.
So for you you say with all due respect, I'm not going to have my team go in there without any more information. And they look at you and then they say, with all due respect, our only mission is to protect this prototype until we get to the Katydid Corral and Casino. So if you wish to protect the passengers, that is your prerogative. I will pull my team back. And you can see little thing goes up, and as you are doing your sense motive check, natural 20, what was that?
To see about this 34 stormtrooper dude, is his non-speaking a like mechanical inability to speak or
Okay.
personality preference that he didn't want to speak to me?
As this message is beamed to them on the inside of their helmet, the little heads-up display blinks, and in that moment, as this power has always been flickering, the power like flickers and the lights go off for a second, and so you just can see a little bit under that mask. You see the face, certainly this is an android, and the face not at all biological, entirely mechanical, and you can see seems to be lacking many components that you might consider a mouth. And so maybe physically enabled, not necessarily medically, but just
Right.
not a part of what they are doing. But that communicator goes down, the lights flicker back on, and they look at you, they give you another little salute, and then they turn around and they begin to head off. You can see both of these shore point people kind of re-enter. He turns, and you can see like gestures for each of them to take one of the doors, and they take up guard in this cart.
They guard the cart with the ship, or they? Okay. Then I'll join because I'll follow 34.
Okay.
Hi.
Gibbs enters,
How's it going?
and poof, just like a little bit of urine and like that kind of
Wow, it's
cloud
really tense in
follows.
here.
We were just going.
We should work together. But I am not putting my team into the car that can get ejected.
All due respect, we tried to work together. He turns, and you can see like heads back off and begins to like zip open his
Wait,
bag.
before you go, if you see an Echo unit with the have you heard of 899 by any chance?
That is the Echo unit that is going to raid this train.
Oh, so you already know about it. Sorry, never mind. We want it. That's our bounty.
Come on.
Hands off.
I'm gonna
Bub's
turn and walk away.
Yeah, Bob is gonna try to like shuttle people out.
Okay, so you begin to like shovel them off.
And as like an awkward fun thing, Bubs is gonna like try to like fix the door as he goes back and close it. It's like totally broke.
Make an engineering check. Take a -6 conditional modifier for it to be funny. But also,
That's right.
okay, as you were saying that, Bubbles tries to like push you out, but at the same time,
She's like pointing over his shoulder, being like, "That's ours."
and they look at you and they say, "We are not after any bounty. We are here on a mission. You are welcome. We will not intervene."
Well, thank you.
And then
She salutes.
you're like shoved out, and the door is about to be closed, and that's going to be like a good final point for this. But then Bubbles like, and it doesn't move, and then it
So
doesn't move,
awkward.
and so he's just staring at you, and you're just staring back, and Bubbles is just like, oh, almost, I almost got it, and it's like a solid minute, and 60 seconds in this situation feels like an eternity. You can see like 34 a couple times, gets up to like try to help, and you can
I got
see
it.
this unnamed individual just goes and just like says, "Don't help." It's all nonverbal, and it's just very uncomfortable. But then at the very last moment, Bubbles, it just falls off the hinges.
It's okay. Tony says he has replacement doors. I'll go ask him about that.
You head off in that direction. No problem. So, what are you doing? Are you leaving as well?
Shade is back in, I think it's the Interceptor car, right? Because they've
Yeah,
kicked
it's
us
the
out
Interceptor
of their one.
They're
and
staying
They're
in the Interceptor car?
Okay.
So we're getting kicked out to Snake car.
So you guys are
Snake
getting
in
kicked
this
forward.
car.
They were giving you an option to go back, and you said, "Nah, we're
Well,
not
because
doing
I
that."
thought that
I thought it
we were
also
at the
was the
one that
last
was going to
one.
be
Yeah, that's the one he
that
wanted you to go to, but you would have gone
jettisoned
through
us
that
out.
one.
Yeah, that's risky. I agree with you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I agree with that.
I wanted to
Well,
stay in the Interceptor car. I thought we were in the one, their ShorePoint security car.
Seems like that didn't go well. What's up?
It didn't go that bad. Nobody died.
I mean, you didn't make friends, so like, what's the point?
Well, they're not after our bounty, so.
Yeah, but they're not gonna help us with our bounty either if we don't make friends.
Echo, near the front of the car, suddenly hear this little ding ding, and the like high-tech door to the engine opens up, and you can see like sweating Tony comes out, and they're wearing, you know, the full coveralls and the Tony Express hat, and everybody at once just begins to start talking and like yelling and looking for some kind of answer. And you can see Tony just goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, everybody, I understand, it's okay, all right, I got blankets." And then everybody starts like yelling again, and he like attempts to start trying to hand out blankets, very similar to the gear that you were given for your birthday in the special birthday welcome package. But they try to like begin like soothing people. It's not working terribly well. What are you doing up there?
Echo uses the confusion to scoot around and through to the engineering car.
Make a stealth check.
30.
3.
30.
Okay.
3-0.
3.
Nice.
It is
I was gonna say,
impossible for me to
you
get a
headbutt
3.
Tony right in the face. No problem. With a 30, you slip through, and it's very crowded, and so it's really more you like at a crowded concert, kind of muscling your way through as polite as you can. But in the confusion, as people begin to yell and like shove, and Tony just goes, "Oh no, there's enough blankets for everybody," just like misreading what's happening here. You scoot around and you zip into this little, very constricted passage that curves around what I believe you saw to be this like furnace room with the fire elemental, and on the other end of it, there is the door to the engine. There's a combination lock in front of it.
All right, so it's engineering cars where I am with the curved area with fire elemental in the car. I thought there was another
Off to
car.
the side of you. So this is like a super narrow passage to go around that part. So because you can't go through the fire elemental cart, mostly because of the
fire.
the reactors actually.
Yeah,
are more
right,
dangerous
because
than-
it's the leaky reactor
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Echo's gonna just kind of like very casually walk past. They've got the little like Tony Express pin on and just be like,
You can see like this. So as you walk past, there's a very narrow port into the reactor room, and you see like their arms around this reactor, this blazing inferno of a creature, and they turn, and for just a moment you can see like through the eyes, it's like the interior burning embers of like a campfire, and then they just like wave and go back to like doing their job. You just walk right by, and with a 30, no problem. Social stealth. You make your way to the door.
and it's a combination lock.
Yeah, 3 numbers.
1, 2, and 3.
Did you send that to everybody? You saw him put it in.
Was it 1, 2, and 3?
I believe it was 000.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
So you.
I gave the disc to
Bubs.
Bubs as well.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
in my notes as well, so I would have shared.
No problem. So yeah, you look back and you realize these 3 random numbers that Gibbs sent, maybe they're this. You see Gibbs' last message before that was in the front, and then 3 numbers, and then a little rat face. And so hard to tell if that's really what it means, but you give it a try, and sure enough, the default password opens us up. And you see on the other side this beautiful high-tech engine cart, navigation computers. You can see all this, various stuff.
The security on this train is lacking.
It's a passenger car.
Uh,
You guys are all like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a birthday party here. It's gonna be great." And Tony's like, "It's really just a train, but that's okay."
you still would Echo continues forward, kind of looking for anything that seems out of place.
Okay, make a perception check.
27.
You do see, not out of place, and actually almost nothing out of place. Very, very neat, very organized. Unlike the rest of this cart, super high tech, super well kept. You do see on the dashboard, Tony has left their communicator, which is currently on. You can see it's like buzzing, like very active. You can see the navigation computer is set to Kitty Day Corral and Casino in what looks like an hour and 50 minutes. You can see Zadaisy is probably 2 days beyond that. And then finally Prime Station another 2 days beyond that. And that's kind of like most of what you see in the cart.
Are there any like safety cameras or anything?
With that check, you didn't really see any.
Okay. So like not that would be focused in the train, but that would be looking throughout the cars. Like the engineer can like check in and see what's on the.
Yeah, but only for 2 cars, at least that are up. You see for the Jarvis's room, this kind of reactor room, and then the drift driver all the way in the end.
Echo like looks in on the drift driver.
Just empty. You can see 1 console, and so you recognize, Echo, the drift car is probably controlled primarily from within inside, so you can summon it from the engine, and you actually look over and you can see a console. But to actually enable it, there is a switch that needs to be enabled from within the drift car.
Does it seem like the video of the drift car is like static?
Make an engineering check. It's so quiet compared
I know,
to all of
I
this
hate-
huge dice.
What do you mean by static?
Like
Has it been looped?
18.
Okay.
With an 18, you look and you can. It's a relatively still shot, but there is enough of a flicker and a grain change that you recognize that it's probably. It's hard to be sure, but it seems like it's live. But really hard to be sure because there's nobody in there. There's no lights blinking.
Is this something that Echo could like loop into like their communicators to like have a copy of the feed be sent to them, or?
So yes, but it's not like you loop it. So you're leaving a trail.
You want to cast it to your device.
Yeah, but you're still leaving a trail. And so if there were somebody to check in, there is the potential that they can follow that back. But you absolutely can.
Just rename it something silly. That makes sense.
My homework.
Tony Jr.'s secret Wi-Fi.
I have to recheck my inventory. It's
Okay.
been a minute.
No problem. So while you do that, Gibbs, is there something you wanted to do?
No, you can go.
As we're walking back, Shane, come here. I wanted to look at something. I'm gonna bring him over to, I believe it goes dining cart, snake room, and then the snake room with the snake lock container that holds like where the snakes originally came out of.
No, that's the one.
No,
that
the
we're
snakes
in
came
right
out of the
now.
room right in front of the dining car.
Okay, so one before then. I want to look at this. Could you maybe do some kind of, like computerized check on it? And while he's doing that, I'm going to do my diligent searcher feat.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be looking for like any sort of like metal shavings, maybe like some kind of like oil that maybe be like dripped on that's like maybe released the lock, something that shows any sabotage.
Okay,
Or, like,
yeah,
changes, and
absolutely.
You can do whatever.
No problem.
Computerized.
What am I looking at?
The thing that was sabotaged, that
It wasn't
snakes-
sabotaged, was it?
it just
don't
don't.
know.
We
But
don't know.
hold on, the stripper died right next to it, though. The stripper that was going to Katie did die.
On the other side of the cart,
There's-
but yeah,
yeah.
they're like they've been respectfully covered with a Tony's Express complimentary blanket. Their feet are still sticking out. You can see some of this this platinum blonde Lashunta hair still spilling out, but yeah, they're very much still there.
So I'm gonna be looking at it.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Diligent searchers 10 minutes.
5.
5, no problem. After 5 minutes goes by, you begin to look through. You look for metal shavings. You don't find any. What you do find in the refrigeration unit that is ambient to the cart itself, when you look up, as you look at the vents that run along, amongst the bits of urine that have congealed and condensed up there and are beginning to leave little stains as the elements of the fluid dry away, you can see there's a place where it began to drip down onto this box. And so thinking about, and again, like as the car is like rumbling along, the power flickers. You remember the power going out for a little bit the previous day. With this power failure and these refrigeration things continuously failing, it's creating these little leaks. And you can see here and there are bits of moisture in other parts of the cart as well, dripping into crates, dripping on other things. It's hard to tell now with the Gibbs explosion everywhere, but yeah.
Could I do an inspection on that vent if someone gave me a boost to like look at it?
Yeah, you don't even need a boost. You can climb up on one of the crates.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Don't you have your...
Are snakes
Oh, yeah, I
like
got my
scorpions where they
jetpacks.
have to be refrigerated to stay asleep?
Make a nature check.
No,
Life sciences?
Life science.
They're
Check, yes.
cold-blooded.
it kills them.
8,
No.
Well, no.
15
They
plus.
they go
I
into like
think my
a
life science is pretty high.
cold-blooded hibernation.
I'm
essentially.
sorry. I hate
mean,
this.
Super
No
cold
worries.
would probably kill them.
Well, you're learning to do it. Oh, because
Like super cold would kill a lot of
28
things.
to ask about would the failing just organically cause the snakes to open up?
so it may not organically cause the snakes to open up. Looking at like the dripping and stuff, that is probably what caused the crate itself, the lock to fail. The dripping and the refrigeration and everything, that is probably more the temperature rising, and then these cold-blooded creatures becoming more active as the temperature, increases.
So I share that knowledge about what I know about snakes with, because snakes, natural predators of Yosokis,
Of
obviously.
course, yeah.
So I know a lot about snakes. With the biggest thing being, if you get them cold, they get fucked up. So I tell you that to help fill out your little picture that you're painting.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Can I check? Are there signs of sabotage on the mechanisms itself that, like, the system that is like,
As
keeping
part
it-
of Bubs' check, he didn't find any signs of sabotage. You can make an engineering check if you want to kind of look at it further and see if maybe beyond just being within the car, there's like previous sabotage or manufacturing defects or things like that.
Just to go with Ari said, you believe the temperature change opened it up? Is that
So
what you're saying?
okay, I'm saying that so I'm really pointing out that the power failing is the first start, is the start of
Yeah.
the problems. So we're looking at the box, but like all of these things are consequential to the fact that the power is failing. So
Yeah.
I'm more like Gibbs is starting to be like, fuck this box. Like the snakes are a convenient distraction because the power failed, which caused the refrigerated container to become more active, which caused the snakes to become more active. But really, I want to go start looking at like fucking wiring or some shit. I don't know. Like Gibbs doesn't know enough to know like what the fuck the power is, but it's like.
Refrigerators would probably keep the temperature, though. They're pretty good at holding temperature.
At this point, and it was a 2 for what? Sorry,
32.
32
for engineering.
That makes sense.
for engineering.
Yeah.
You look down, and I mean, you can tell everything about this crate. You look at it, and it was manufactured to a
I
standard
meant more
design.
like the
Step one,
refrigeration
put your
system and
snakes
stuff.
to
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you look at the refrigeration system, and you can see it's been repaired many times, and so this is an ongoing problem likely. And you can see it's been repaired in such a way that it probably needs to be replaced. It has just been patched and patched and patched, and so less that there are like ducts, and more that this is just like flux that now is formed a duct-like shape.
So no signs of tampering.
No signs of tampering
Or-
directly,
Right.
insofar as this is mostly
It's like just
poor
run
maintenance.
down. Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna just get up to the vent. I'm gonna just like, I think I actually have a toolkit that I got from the Hylax mission, not the Hylax, the Gorfine mission. I'm just going to just take off the screws of it,
Okay.
and just shine a flashlight and just.
Bubs, your Dan is showing.
So you pop
Yeah.
this screen. Yeah, I know, really. You pop the screen down, and you can see like one of the passengers comes in. They're like, "Shouldn't you wear a mask?" You're like, "Nah, just die."
I never said that.
You literally say that all the time. You do. We're like, "Damn, you're gonna. There's asbestos and stuff." You're like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll just choke and die. It'll be fine." So,
It's not wrong.
yeah, you should wear a mask. Anyways, so should Bubs. But as you open this little thing, it opens up. Just dead, almost like scalded snakes fall down, and then you like look in, and you can see there's a few that are like dead in there, little bits of fluid, but nothing that seems to be like. I mean, what are you looking for?
I'm looking probably at you said fluid was dripping down.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the fluid and trying to kind of, identify if it's not kind of urine, if there's anything else there.
it is entirely
urine.
No. There's some chemicals that were part of the chemical latrine as well.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing that is like tampering. This is bits of condensation mixed with Gibbs's septic.
Okay, I
steam.
will take a little bit of it. I have some vials that I took from Gibbs's lab when I put the little crumb in there.
Yep, I remember.
I'm going to put a little bit in there, and I believe my inventory I have a chemolyzer
Okay,
from when she got everyone a bunch of
that
shit.
sounds
I
correct
think-
to me.
I don't know
Somebody's
if I
got one.
think I have it.
No,
I think there were
everyone
two.
everyone
did
has
I
it.
get,
I think everybody
did I get
got
enough?
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
did I get
Yeah.
enough for
Because it's
everyone?
like 50 credits.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the
environmental, whatever it is.
yeah, whatever
I'm
the
gonna-
fuck
I'm
that
gonna
other
run
thing
it
is that
through
was more
that.
Sure,
expensive.
no problem.
It's piss.
And I'm gonna like take 20 for it. 'cause
Okay.
I,
Wait, that-
I
No
don't.
problem.
I'm not super great with this,
No
and I'm probably
problem.
gonna
I love
look up like how-tos, how to do it, and stuff like that.
God.
So this like this starts to get really granular. So I say my helpful comment about snakes, and then I am like, I like start to watch him like distill piss, and I'm like, fuck
You
this.
don't
Like,
have to do something.
I know, I in my heart of hearts, Gibbs knows like this is like condensation and like rust and like.
Yeah, you're beginning to see it's like one of those things where it's like a sequencer and like little like ingredients are popping up from like highest concentration to lowest, and it's just number
And be-
1 water, number 2 ureter, number 3 like it's just
Yeah. So before I find out that like 2 people on this ship are cousins or something, I'm gonna like leave. And I go down the original train of Gibbs's thought, which is like, I think all of this is red herrings to the fact that the power outage is like the problem. Doesn't know a lot about power, but knows it comes from the front of the ship, so starts to sort of backtrack, walk the ship as passengers start to like disperse themselves. But we'll kind of be like, hey, maybe you guys should stay together. Like, hey, wouldn't you feel safer if you were all in one cart? Just like casually as she walks.
So as you are like turning and you begin to walk back up, and the rest of you guys are beginning to kind of like move. Tony is like turning and coming back, and like the door
Yeah,
opens, and Tony walks
wasn't
through.
going.
He only has he has like 3 blankets left. He looks at like all of you, and he goes, "Oh, you guys like to share, right? Here you go." And he like throws blankets to like 3 of you. Excuse me. And then he just goes, "I just wanted to let everybody know we're going to be in the station in like a little bit more than an hour. There's going to be authorities there asking all kinds of questions. Just an accident, I'm sure, but we'll be having a bit of a layover, about 2 hours. Okay, anybody need anything?
No.
All right, thank you for coming on Tony's Express." He turns around and then turns back and goes, "Yeah.
What do you know about Echo Unit 72899?
Oh, just don't listen to anything you heard. That's just an echo unit."
Sense motive.
Okay, make a sense motive check.
He's just a jolly guy.
Is he? I don't know. I'm all of us baffled by this, and I don't trust anybody anymore. Sense motive. Oh, motherfucker.
25. Wait, that can't be right.
He is
26.
okay. He is certainly not being forthright. He looks a little like nervous. There's something definitely like that he is trying to keep from you.
Tony, what's on this train that you're hiding from us?
What? No, there's nothing on this train, and it's totally safe. I promise. There's nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna get stolen.
So if it's not on the train, are we gonna get ambushed once we eradicated it?
I hope not. What are you all doing?
I'm a bounty hunter. I'm Spicy Mudo. Mosaic Team 5. Nice to meet you.
What?
I'm not there.
Yeah,
I
he
left.
just kind of like looks back and forth and
I
just
took my
goes.
blanket and like fucked off.
So, are you all trying to ambush somebody? Is somebody trying to ambush you?
Someone's trying to, we thought, ambush this train.
I hope not.
What do you know about the Echo unit
They've been stealing a bunch of stuff, but they're not going to get Tony.
relevant to this shuttle?
They're stealing a bunch
Are
of
you
stuff
aware
from
that there were
shuttles.
snakes on your train, sir?
Yeah, I mean, he like hits the door and it opens, and you see Gibbs like walking up, and there's just dead trains, like snakes hanging from every single thing. They're around the poles. They're coming out of the baggage parts. One of them just into fluid on the floor, and it goes, "Yeah, there's snakes everywhere, and that's why the authorities are going to be asking questions and stuff." So malfunctioning in a shipping container or something like that. Not Tony's fault, and it's important that you tell people that, okay? Just malfunctioning shipping. Anyways, I gotta go back, and he just runs back off. Gibbs, you head back towards the front. you tell people to head back to their cart. Almost everybody stays up towards the front.
Good. Okay. Cool. So any stragglers who aren't up towards the front, like, my thought is okay. Short Point's got the ship. They're probably all gonna die, and we're gonna lose the ship and find the bounty. But like, whatever. But at least if all the people are like generally in the same place, are they before the breakage point? Like, so my understanding is that there's like a point at the ship where the back half can be like detached.
So any of the cars can be discoupled from the car in front of it, and then that drift car can be detached and then connected to any point. So if like there's a problem with one car, you could just detach everything behind it, take the drift car, shift it back up, and the rest of the train could just keep going.
So as I'm walking through, are there still little power outages?
Every now and then, the lights will kind of flicker.
And like, as I'm clocking those power outages, are they happening in all of the cars simultaneously? Like, if I can, like, with my line of sight, see, like, I see it in this car, I see it in the next car.
Make a perception check. Yes, Echo.
Echo's doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll get there in a second.
I look up and I get piss in the eye because I rolled a nat 1.
Drip right in the eye. Yeah.
That one burns.
Yeah. But then you like
And
think
I'm
about
like,
it. And
someone's got herpes?
it's a little sweet. Echo, what are you doing?
Thinking about leaving a trace in the security system, Echo sends a quick ping to Shade and says, confirm team location.
Shade is still trying to, like, is there a way that I can shunt this other android out? Is it still...
No,
Do I
not
still
in.
feel their
You feel,
presence?
yeah, it feels more like they pushed you out, and that was more like it was an active part of that reaction.
Team 5 location.
Right, I know, but I didn't... I thought that this other android was still in my system, and I didn't want to give any
Yeah.
information.
Gotcha.
Physical.
Yeah.
That's over here.
Yes.
Yeah, but I fucked off. I went elsewhere.
Yeah, I would have not. But, I say, still near the end of the train, Tony is suspicious.
Drift car?
Is that where you are?
No. Checking to make sure that the team is not in the drift car.
No.
Echo
Short
pulls the
point.
release.
Okay.
Bye.
So you pull this
I'm-
release, and you
I'm
can
so
see like there's this little like light lever that begins to depress, and it's like a 3, 2, 1 countdown. And then as it hits the bottom, all of you feel this very subtle kind of jolt, and that's what happened so far.
Do I, knowing that I said no, and before I could even finish my sentence, that happened, would I put 2 and 2 together that Echo just released the drift car?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up on my chemalizer and realize this is nothing. Oh, what was that?
Not just completely
The door
ignoring-
opens. Hey, did you guys feel something?
completely ignoring everything that's happening in the car.
It's just like a bump.
I thought you said that those were normal.
You're not-
Yeah,
you're
the
not-
lights
you're
going
not-
out.
I'm far
That's
away.
normal.
You can see he looks for his communicator. Goes, I left it up front. He begins to like run back up front.
And after releasing the drift car, Echo wants to swipe the communicator.
Okay. You pick up the communicator. I mean, it's right there.
Is there a door forward?
No. So this is like forward is the windshield,
Mhm.
and then just like space.
Okay, so this is the foremost car.
Yes.
Once Echo has the communicator, they're gonna go back to the crowded area.
Okay. So you make your way back. You make your way back to this crowded area.
Why?
Like a minute
Why?
goes by, and then the door opens up, and Tony like begins to run through, and he's just like, "Oh no! Hey, everything's fine, everybody! No!" And he like runs, and the door opens and shuts behind him. You are in the crowded cart. You have his communicator.
Echo goes back to their compartment and closes the door.
Okay.
There's a lobster there.
You go back, you open. So it's one of those things where the lights are all out. So you open, you close the door behind you, the lights all turn on, and you turn, and just this lobster creature in Gibbs's seat, which has been turned into the aquatic mode, just kind of burbling away.
Gibbs? No. Echo just sits down and kind of nods and opens up Tony's communicator.
Sure.
To wash the piss out of my eye, can I cast known coordinates? Because that's the mechanics of
I know you just put the bottle on your eye. So yeah, you begin to do that. Hang on 1 second. So you pick up the communicator, you open it up, and you can see there's just a flood of like alerts and like messages. First of all, you can see like a lot of alerts that just popped up that say drift car released, drift car missing, drift car disconnected. All these like alerts, but you like pass through those. You can see a whole bunch of messages that are from the second here. It is it's a USR hazmat team that is going to rendezvous with the train and clear the entire train. You see that a lot of the passengers have made travel arrangement changes and will not be continuing on from this point. And actually, I would say with that, you can see, give me just
Yelp reviews. 1 star. Car smells like piss. Snakes killed my sister.
3 stars. The snacks are pretty good.
Yeah, right. Aquatic bed comfy. 2.5 stars.
Judea and Hasti, the 2 Lashunta, who are both like a senator and her daughter, they have booked a private flight and are going to be leaving at the Katy de Corral Casino. You can see it seems like about 10 minutes later, the individual named Zhenghuat, the hammerhead-looking dude, also changed their booking. You see that Anita Mantonite and Jim Jammers have both canceled their trip going forward. Jim Jammers is the priest.
Yeah.
Todd, Chad, Brad, Trent, Bryce, and Blake are going to be getting off, and they looked like they were going to be getting off anyways, so works out fine for them. And then you can see it seems like the crossword puzzle lady also getting off. A little distressed. You also see, in a quick panic, there's been infosphere searches, probably from Tony, that say how to make more money, how to make up lost funds, how to find quick bookings. And then you kind of like, what are you looking for?
Just wanted to like monitor what Tony's like recent communications look like. What sort of notifications he's gotten.
Make a general, we'll call it an engineering check.
Engineering?
Yeah.
Computer?
Oh no, computers. Yeah, sorry,
It's a
computers.
computer.
We've been off for 2 weeks. I'm still.
No, there
remembering how
is
to do this.
engineering and computers.
There is,
There's
yeah,
one-
but computers.
There
was
is.
Oh,
more
yeah,
essential,
computer.
yeah.
I need to. I get a thing.
I don't.
Like, hold
Yeah,
on. I'm
maybe.
looking to see what thing
In the
I get.
meantime, Gibbs, you
Oh,
take
yeah.
your bottle, you swish it so the sediment gets lifted up and becomes part of the liquid, and then you right into your eye, and the gross septic fluid in your eye dissolves, not anything compared to the trash juice, and just becomes part of the bottle, and your eyesight clears.
Nice.
It's almost like putting Visine in for you.
Yes.
I got a 10.
And then who are you casting no coordinates on?
Echo
899.
899.
Okay.
Thanks.
Right here.
Thanks.
Nothing.
Do I think the spell fails because it requires us to be on a planetary body? Or do I think it fails because she's literally not within the casting range?
Make a mystic check.
Or do I think I'm casting it for the wrong
Make a
person?
mysticism check.
Fuck. Oh, but my mysticism is my best stat. So.
There you go.
Don't like to.
33.
33.
15
15.
with my -1.
So with a 15, I would say you get the sense that it's probably either that you're not on a planetary body or that it's out of range. But you get the sense that you're asking for the right person. I mean, assuming you're trying to find that Echo unit.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
72899.
But yeah, so with the 33, as you like begin to look through, you note that there are some communications that come in just after Tony began to like panic search for things. And you can see that Tony has managed to already get a few more passengers and some cargo loaded on. Mostly cargo, actually. But you do see that there's a human who is booked aboard passenger car 2 named Taurus. There is a person named Kinsei Tak who is booked for passenger car 5. You can see... there's cargo train 3, 2, and 1 are all completely booked now as well. Mostly cargo.
Echo would then, once getting all the information from the communicator, would leave the compartment, and as they're making their way towards the back of the train, just kind of like drop it in the crowded room.
Okay, no problem.
And continue on.
Right as you drop it, suddenly there's like a and you can see it's like the Find My Communicator thing just like buzzing, and like the door opens up and Tony's like, does anybody hear buzzing? And like everybody's like talking and yelling, so nobody can. Can you roll 100-sided dice for me, please?
Wow.
93.
Are you making your way out of that room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you like step through and you turn and you look, Tony's like, hey, I'm looking for a communicator. You can see Chad, the Wayoko. It's just like, I could have taken that snake on, bro. And as he steps back, crunch, just steps on the communicator. And there's a little as it like dies. Probably not finding that communicator anytime soon. But the door closes behind you. Gibbs, that is what you learned from that mystic check. Is there anything that the rest of you are doing?
Yeah, so I was trying to continue the whispercom conversation.
Yeah.
Seeing that Echo stopped responding after doing the drift car thing,
After being a good teammate and
Yes.
following the plan?
would have started setting off towards Echo, and as leaving, say, Spice, get in touch with Lydell, find out what's going on with Shorepoint. Bubs, keep an eye on Shorepoint. Gibbs, stay with the crew.
With the crew? These guys?
Yes.
Yes,
And then I'm going towards Echo
Okay.
to try and find what the fuck they're doing.
Try and find the insubordinate android.
Okay, so androids looking for each other, no problem. Bubs, what are you doing?
I am at this point probably going to
Oh, and
listen
pulling out a cigarette.
to Shade. He said mostly watch Shorepoint.
Okay.
So he's probably just going to keep an eye on the window of the cart that he's in and just like look through it and just keep an eye on it through the window and
Okay.
see if they come through.
You see the three of them patrolling. You can see one of them takes off their helmet, like a human who you had seen before. One of them keeps their helmets on the entire time.
34?
Yep.
And Tag is the human?
Tag is the human. And they seem to be like keeping pretty vigilant check. Every now and then they'll go into the cart behind to like check that and look through at the drift car.
Do they seem
And then,
bothered at all about the drift car moving away?
There's a point where absolutely you can see they like look and they turn and then they look back and then they go back and they like talk to this individual. But aside from seeing a little bit more on edge, it doesn't seem to bother them a terrible
Okay.
amount.
Bubs has no idea the drift car left, so
Yeah.
Can I offer the Shorepoint folks some blankets?
So Gibbs
I got
comes
3
into
whole
the room,
blankets.
Bubs, and are you going to say anything to Gibbs before they try to make their way in?
They asked for privacy. Maybe and I'm gonna try to like.
Privacy? You're like creeping on them through the window.
No, Gibbs. I'm gonna like try to like grab her by like the short of her like.
I got a
or
vest
something.
or something on.
So you grab the
I
scruff
thought you were
of the
naked
vest.
all the time.
No, I have a vest.
Oh.
And I frequently reset to like
Okay.
standard
Aren't you
Gibbs
also
outfit.
wearing like the Tony Express shirt or whatever?
Overalls? Yeah, I think I have those on.
Yeah. But, so you're as dressed as you've ever been, really.
Yeah. I've got most amount of clothes.
Yeah.
It's just human body, rat face.
So you letting Bubs stop you?
What is your plan to make friends with them? How are you gonna do this?
I'm not trying to make friends with them, Gibbs.
Why would we not want to make friends with the people we're working with?
I'm trying to follow orders from our captain.
Yeah, the orders from the captain was to keep close eye on the. You know what they say? Keep your friends closer and your enemies closer.
I don't think she meant it. Like
Yeah, no,
that.
it's not up to you to interpret Shade's meaning. It's just up to you to follow it. So this is kind of the thing
Gibbs.
that it's fine. I'm keeping a close eye on them. What's closer than being close? Close. Close things happening. Goodbye.
I'm gonna close the door and not let her go through.
I'm gonna sneak in before he does that.
So the door is
The broken
already
door.
shut, and the
Yeah,
door
I'm
is
just gonna
shut
keep it
because
shut right
Shorepoint shut it. But if you want, you can absolutely like thump, 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 thump with your little Yosoki fist, and you see the android like look up, and they stand up, their weapon still in their hands, and they walk over, and you just see these two eyes like right into the snake.
Are you hurt?
You can
Did someone
see-
get bit? Do you want a blanket?
Make a diplomacy check. Take a minus 6 conditional modifier.
As this is happening, Bubs is just being like, I'm sorry.
It's a -6. It's not bad. It's not even bad because it's a -7 total.
Can I make an attempt to like try to pull Gibbs back? Like I'm fighting with
Diplomacy?
her.
You are, and you will be able to right after this.
15. Sorry, 14.
14.
14.
Bubs just lifts you up, kind of pushing your arms together and lifting you like a small child. And then,
Medkit in one hand, blankets in the other.
yeah, and just kind of like moving around in the air. Your feet just, and Bubs just turns you and like places you down, looking away from the door.
I look back. Do they look like they want to
They're
be
turning
healed?
and walking away.
Sad.
I'm sorry. And I'm going to close the door.
Okay. The door is shut.
Yes,
They,
sure.
yes. No problem. Spice, what are you doing?
Spice is going to find the unnamed android.
Okay. They're in that room that is currently closed off from all of you.
But Bubs is yes.
Yeah, I'm
Going
fucking-
to distract Bubs with my
Yeah.
shenanigans.
So they're doing their thing, and Spice is gonna walk fucking in the door.
So Bubs, you like turn, put Gibbs down, and you're like, Gibbs, you can't, and you hear behind you the door just open. And Spice, what are you saying? You can see that
So
individual
she's
turns. They're right there.
on her like communicator, and she's dialing Lydell, and she goes up to the android and goes, "Hun, what's your name? I'm calling up Lydell."
Turns and just looks at you. Have you dialed Lydell?
Yeah, it's like ringing.
Okay, no problem.
Like, this is a work trip now. This is a work call.
So
If we're gonna be on the same page.
there's a brief moment where like this goes through, and then you just hear toot toot toot, and it just goes dead. And then maybe like 10 seconds go by. Are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the android to answer.
Okay. So the android turns to you and just they get a message on their communicator.
Okay.
But they turn to you, and as they bring up their communicator to look at it, they just say, "What do you want?" They look at their communicator. And
I
they,
want to know what your name is. That's what I asked.
Why are you contacting Lydell?
Because we are also working for Lydell right now. You want to know why we're bounty hunting this Echo to give it to Lydell?
What do you need right now?
I need to know your name.
No.
Your name is No?
At this point, I probably realized that the door.
Can I-
closed.
One arm on Gibbs, who's like trying to run the opposite direction. To pull
Yeah,
you
so
over.
I'm gonna skitter up and shut the door.
Okay, Gibbs, slam, shut the door.
Can I-
Spice, like your butt hit by the door, so you're like knocked in a little bit. You hit this android.
want to meet you.
I just like, I like arm against the wall.
You see
really
just
close.
blush. No.
Somehow over the helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
The shock and appalled faces over there. So we just like
But no, you just bump into this android, and
Close.
they kind of gruffly like push you back a little bit. They look over your back and they just say, "You're not supposed to be in here. You need to leave."
Wait, why can't I be in there? Did he say why we can't be in there?
Because we're not friends. That's the gist of it.
What? Where? Why? I am no threat to you. We're on the same team.
We offered to work together, and we are guarding the ship. We
I'm
have
not
tried.
gonna steal your ship. I'm here for a different reason.
We're not worried about you stealing the ship.
Who do you think is gonna steal a ship? Unnamed android.
You can see he sighs and just says, and almost very flat affect, but you can almost swear there's some humor to it. They say, "Have you heard of an Echo Unit 899?
That is yes, I have. That is exactly what I asked you about. Actually, it goes right over her head.
Yeah. They sigh again, but no problem. So, what are you doing now? The two of you kind of like intercept in this empty cart. There is this covered up like huge mass of dead snakes. And
I'm sorry to have
just
missed
two of you.
this.
What did you do? Why did you detach the drift car?
I thought it best if we were to flush out the Echo unit before things got too intense.
What made you suspect that the Echo unit was on that car?
The Echo unit is not on that car. However, taking away an escape vehicle would perhaps be a best option.
Something is off.
Yes.
I don't know if the snakes were part of the plan or if it was just happenstance.
I was not present when the snakes appeared. Where did they appear from?
The refrigeration car near the back of the ship, right near the shore point. There's also a prototype of something similar to Project Cuttlefish.
I am unfamiliar with Project Cuttlefish.
Ping the information from our previous bounty.
Okay.
Takes a moment to read the file.
And you can see this is an individual named Billiguanga, who also went by Taco Black as a gaming name. They were a pretty prolific gamer who was also a scientist with Jacinto. The contract was really to find this individual and the prototype that they had, really for the prototype more than the person. And just as Mosaic Team 5 began to talk to this person who began to rant about the evils of Jacinto, his head exploded. They, I believe, discovered it was a sniper rifle of some kind, although did not see the person.
Sniper with like an explosive round, I think is what we
Jacinto is very jealous of their technology.
I've told Spice to get in touch with Lydell.
You mentioned that this vessel is in the refrigeration car.
The vessel is not. The snakes came from the refrigeration car, which was adjacent to the car holding the interceptor.
It is in cargo car 4.
Cargo car 5 is the refrigeration.
5 is refrigeration.
6 is then the interceptor, right?
6 is the...
6 is, I mean,
There's no-
technically.
there's no
Well,
cargo car
because
6.
it's
Two after the nine.
right.
Yeah, it doesn't have a name, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're talking about the same one.
Yeah.
Okay. Correct.
I do not understand why a distraction would be caused closer to the target. It would make more sense to cause the distraction on a different section of the train. This would draw any capable units away from the main source of the target and leave confusion.
That's what I find suspicious as well.
There's a little ding dong, and the overhead goes on, and you can hear Tony's voice. Hey, this is Tony Sizatome. Just wanted to let everybody know we're about 20 minutes out from the Katy Did Corral Casino. There might be a little commotion when we get in. Apologies, just, the chemical showers aren't so bad, and thank you for flying Tony's Express. All right. If anybody's seen a communicator, just bring it up front. Goes dead.
At this point, I think I would finally be able to wrangle Gibbs and maybe get in the door and try to wrangle
Did you
Spice
check
somewhat.
the ship? The whole point of the train is moot if she's on the interceptor already.
Gibbs has, like, your cheeks in their paw.
Did you check it? It's got cloaking.
I didn't look at it.
What if she's already on the interceptor?
That's a good point, but
But so why are you stopping me? We work together.
because look,
Because Shade what?
we have Shade gave me an order.
You don't think about everything. We all think independently and we all have to work together. So sometimes you just have to have a little wiggle room in the interpretations of Shade's commands.
Gibbs,
That's all anybody does.
I don't want to be a person who acts like that.
And that's okay. My behavior is not a reflection of you,
But it is, Gibbs, because
why?
because I want to be a person who makes Shade proud.
But Shade's pride is not worth losing this bounty. And I believe we should work together, but what's the point if we're not thinking clearly? If we're all bundled up here just talking to each other, we're not actually doing anything.
Gibbs, Shade gave me an order.
And I'm not asking you to get rid of it.
We need to watch SharePoint, but we don't need to be in their face. They don't obviously want us near them.
I don't care about SharePoint. I care about looking at the fucking thing that's there because it's got cloaking, so it's going to be really hard to see anything that's in it. So I'd be really helpful if I could get in so I could look at it, so I could see, because the whole point of us being on a train is to get from point A to point B, but if the bounty is a ship, then you can just get on the ship and drive away to wherever you want to be that's not point
I feel like I don't have time to talk to you.
Echo, is there something that you're trying to think of?
Did I note if the Draylich or the lobster rights people, arthropod rights people,
Crustaceans.
had booked alternate travel arrangements?
They had not.
Oh.
Or sorry, the Draylich had. The arthropod rights movement has not.
Looking at Echo, do they give off any indication that they were involved with this comm that Tony was talking about? Because Shade was also about to say, in addition to ShorePoint, I think something is off with Tony.
There's like a little...
Yeah, a little something.
Did you find anything out about what's going on with Tony?
It seems as though Tony is concerned about profit margins.
The communicator, he's oddly concerned about.
Yes.
I believe he may know something as well.
The communicator is no longer a factor.
But who was he contacting?
No contacts as to my knowledge. However, there were new passengers and cargo units booked, as well as multiple searches.
Him looking for it seems like he's trying to contact someone. I think he may be involved.
I have thought of this. I would, however, like to go back to my compartment. Would you join me?
I want to go ahead for a moment, but I'll meet you back in a few minutes.
I have thought about where this echo unit could be. Would it not make sense to travel incognito?
Agreed.
What better disguise than a giant arthropod?
Would we both fit? Are we trying to do like a horse costume?
I think
That
what
is not where my mind
Echo's
goes. That's
implying
like
that
Echo is
899.
implying is that 899 is disguised as a lobster. The two of you
I love that.
sew up a quick lobster costume to go undercover.
Which already had a glamour suit on it before.
Oh my god, I love
Which you
that.
guys don't know.
I thought you were asking if
No.
we should go incognito.
Androids.
All right, I'll be the butt.
I love
you
that.
be
I
the
love that.
head.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
You're
totally,
confusing our
yeah.
D&D campaign with our...
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Sorry, I thought it was Friday.
Have fun, Rayclaw.
Yes. Tony can wait. Let's go see what you're thinking about.
Echo heads back to their compartment.
You head back.
I'm
Shit
gonna
follows.
head to Gibbs and say, all right, Gibbs, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make you a deal, okay? We'll go in there. I will get Spice out. You can look at it really quick, and then we go back, okay?
Deal. You got it. That's teamwork. I'm gonna high five him.
I'm gonna
Okay.
high five her and then get a wipe and just clean my hand.
No problem. So as you're doing that, Spice, you have been given by Gibbs a plenty of time. So is there anything else that you want to do while you're in there before they join you?
I'm trying to get information out of this guy, but he's not biting.
Because we burned the bridge, man.
So I guess my
Thanks,
last
Shade.
question is gonna be, alright, so you don't, we are team workers here. Don't forget that. But what do you know about the Echo Units, 549 and that batch?
I do not know anything about.
What
Echo
are- what's
Unit
your batch,
549. I am not an Echo unit.
Right.
Tacos, I guess.
Okay. Well, what's your number?
He looks. Make a sense motive check.
So racist.
I don't have numbers,
I imagine
okay?
like a cop
Shade doesn't
badge
have
number.
numbers.
They have
Number.
to tell you if you ask.
All letters.
Are you a cop, man?
Yeah,
You gotta tell me if you're a cop.
sense motive or diplomacy?
This is sense motive.
Okay. 26 again.
Reflex saving throw.
26. Okay, so yeah, they are a little offended. It seems, as you say, "What is your number?" That is maybe not the best
Olive
thing.
didn't know that all
Not a
androids
number.
didn't have numbers.
You get this brief, like, and they look at you and they say,
technically Roman numerals.
I am called
Braille.
Peter, if you must know. I do
Peter!
not have a number.
Is that
Like you,
Peter, all
I have
caps.
a name.
Peter? Nice to meet you, Spice. And she like juts out her hand. And...
You have said this 3 times now.
At this point, I think.
All right, this guy. Well, Peter. And she just like cheers him and lights a cigarette.
The door open as you light your cigarette, and Bubs and Gibbs just spill into the room.
Oh, babe, there you are. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is the last distraction that will happen. Oh, come on. Spice.
And I like scrunch the fur on my belly to like, cause it's wet, to like cause a little puddle in front of my like foot to go, so I can slip in it, and then land like on the glass of the ship, hopefully.
So if you try to do that, they're definitely going to try to intercept you. And you get the sense it's less because they don't want you to touch the... It is because they don't want you to touch the ship, but it's because you're gross and not because of like any like crazy...
But just so I can sort of like get a little closer incognito.
Make an acrobatics check.
Fuck. Oops, sorry, that was on your side.
Natural one.
Well,
first
then,
of all.
oh shit, natural one too!
Bro,
Wow.
that's amazing.
Holy
first of
fuck!
all.
The universe wants me to
So,
succeed none at all.
With your natural 1, you slip, and it's this amazing. There's a bump in the train. You slip at the same time, and it gives you just enough momentum so that you get your face just a little lower than the plane of your body before you slam into the floor. You go nowhere. They're like about to dart and stop you, and you can see like their legs, something activates in their legs. They're about to have to, they rolled really low, and so they have to use a feature to catch up to you probably, and then you just flump right in front of them. And there's a of like steam that goes out from their ankles, and they stop. And they look, it's hard to tell, they're an android, not a lot of emotion there. They look like they almost feel bad for you, but they don't offer to help you up.
Oh.
They look at you, Bubs, and they say, you need to remove your team now.
I'm so sorry. I've been trying to. And he's gonna like kind of like carry her into one arm, Gibbs. and-
No, piggyback, please.
Okay, I'll piggyback.
Cool. As I scramble
When you
up,
say cool, Gibbs just and climbs up your back.
because I'm actually fine. From my now point of view, I want to squint at the car, at the train, at the thing.
What are you trying to discern?
It's a ship,
It
like
is.
a little passenger ship. Has it been tampered with? Is anyone sitting in
Make
it?
make a perception check.
Thank you.
Spice, are you going with Bubbles and the held Gibbs?
Natural 20!
Fantastic.
It gives it, then it takes it.
I'm going to offer a cigarette to Peter.
I don't smoke.
Alright, she nods and leaves.
Okay, no problem.
Wait, can I look at... I'm leaving, I swear. Can I look at the thing and see if I see Echo with an 899 like you wanted to see?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
You see Gibbs' eyes wide open in this brief moment.
I'm like trying to
Oh.
take this moment.
33 with my -1.
Okay. Oh, right. You're
But it
minus
was a
one.
nat 20, so
No, still great.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. Got 16 pages of notes this week.
I got
Okay.
two twos in my thing.
So you take a look back, and you can see this is a just beautiful looking, sleek ship. And with the light hitting it just right, the canopy is stated in such a way that like you can't see through it necessarily, but you can see this is like factory fresh. There is still that like tape across it that like you peel away and it's really satisfying. And so nobody has gone into the cockpit. It hasn't really been used. You can tell with that check, this is nanite recomposite armor. This is like this, you've seen this kind of material before. You would imagine, I mean, this is beautiful and has not been tampered with. It looks pristine. It still has everything on it aside from markings. There is no Jacinto crane on it, nothing like that.
Rolled a 28 on my perception.
You look back, and as far as you can tell, there is no hidden person aboard this craft. There's no hidden person in the train cart. And you look back, and as far as you can tell, in that train cart behind, and then you can just see space where there was a drift car behind that, but no echo unit there either. And if there was an echo unit aboard the drift driver, They're gone too.
Gonzo. All right.
Bubs is gonna be leaving, and it's like one of those like way past awkward goodbyes at this point. I'm just like, all right, and he's just like waving his hand out. See ya. All right, we're leaving. All right. And I'll get through there, and I guess we'll all reconvene in the next cart.
Okay.
What happened?
Okay. I got a very good look because you're very tall. Thank you. And so bald, it helps somehow. There was nothing there. No one's tampered with it. Maybe this isn't the place to be.
Okay. Well, I think we should just continue what Shade said in following orders. Don't tell Shade I let you do that because I don't.
Okay.
I don't want him to
It was
think
a good
I'm
choice.
not good co-pilot, co-captain, material. But next time, Gibbs, that we can't do that.
We got good information, Bubs. We can't not do something. Okay? But thank you. Good. Hey, what'd you learn? Did you get anything?
Nada.
Me neither. Okay, so.
Good information.
Oh, the android's name is Peter.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I squeezed that fucking information out of him.
And then Bubs thinks about like how he.
You got that information by being racist, by the way. He was like offended enough to be like, "No, I actually have a name."
Bubs thinks for a second, how maybe he isn't chief mate material. Maybe
I mean,
he
everybody's running all over the place. You have Gibbs like scrabbling around behind you. Spice, who is your significant other, just walks straight past you. I mean, and then right into the arms of this android. I mean, wow.
I mean, I was blushing.
And he thinks back to a little bit of when he was in the schoolroom classroom when he got the spitball from Kevin, and then he goes, never mind, Gibbs. Let's just
Don't worry, we'll report it. Don't worry.
here.
And I'm gonna just send a text to the group text saying, got a really good look at the shuttle thingy untampered with. Shore points surely secure.
Okay. Ding, you send it, and it's like short points surely, and then you see the 3 dots, and it goes away, then the 3 dots, and it goes away, 3 dots, then secure. The two of you enter into this first class chamber, and it shuts, and Shade's lights go on. You just see this lobster sitting in the chair, kind of foaming away.
No one else.
Bungee cords around its claws. No one else.
It's a lobster I carried.
You, Echo, and a lobster.
I look at Echo like,
Ding! You're like, you get a message, and it gives this message.
I ignore that
Okay.
because I already knew everything about that shuttle. So,
Very good.
Whispercom. Okay? Question mark.
I admit I did not get to this part in my plan. I was hoping they would just reveal themselves.
I'm gonna look at the lobster.
Make
Could
a
this
sense
be-
motive check.
Well, can I is this actually a lobster? Or
Make a life
is there
sciences
any
check.
possibility that this could be
There's
the
a
Echo unit in
clawsibility.
disguise?
And Echo, as you see Shade like looking, first of all, in the viewports, the lights are changing as you are beginning to go past billboards and like little signs and things like that.
And as as the station arrives, Echo looks up and just kind of like,
If you had wanted to get off, there is not much time. A hazmat team is coming.
and then just kind of like looks at Shade and then looks back at the
Was
lobster.
it was life sciences.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
And Claw's gonna go up and down. Sure seems like a fucking lobster. And they don't they don't seem concerned. It's very Shade, you go over and you poke it. It has like a hard shell. This is not a glamour projection. You like look at it and it's like bubbling in the water. There's like a slight cloudiness, so it's probably been releasing fluids into this. It's a lobster.
But you see a snorkel.
Androids don't need to breathe air.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea, but this sure seems like a lobster.
But is it a suspicious lobster?
The billboards begin to go by. You can see there's an Eats Meats advertisement. You can see there's an advertisement that says feeling tired, come to the Ranch of Rest. And you can see these two beautiful women, these clouds, and there is like the negative level special up in the corner as it flashes by. You can see there is something called the Rowdy Rodeo, which is a little bit more adult rated and does have some censoring with the words and the scrolling, but that seems to be a little bit more of an active side to this Katy Did Corral and Casino. And then you also see advertised, not Don Gorski, but there is a secondary Eats Meats billboard, and it does say there is a Eats Meats Solar System Eating Champion, and the picture is currently like coming soon. You see the number 32, and so this seems to have been whoever was previously holding this. Maybe somebody has broken that record. Maybe somebody broke it only 4 days ago and it hasn't had time to update yet. Maybe. Or maybe. Who knows? But you go right by it. You also see an advertisement for the it's called the Viper's Pit. This is a bar that is also attached to a huge fighting arena, and you can see these like stylized abstract people fighting against these serpents. And that zips by.
Seeing that, Echo says, "Oh, perhaps the snakes were a coincidence after all."
And before too long, in front of you, as the train kind of bends and loops around, you can see the Katy Did Corral and Casino looming up in the darkness like a jewel in front of you. The casino itself, and so primarily what you are seeing is this planet first. The planet itself is like a kind of green and blue light planet, and as you get closer, you can see a small black speck that is the Katy Did Corral and Casino in front of it. And as you get closer still, you can see it is a pair of massive buildings that sprawl down and across a huge floating platform that spins slowly to generate gravity within. It seems to produce its own dome because you can see people walking along the surface in space, clearly capable of breathing, no helmets, very fancy dress for many of them. You can see beyond these two huge buildings, there is a huge tower. And there are multiple levels all spinning in opposite directions, alternating, and you can see flashing lights. This seems to be the casino structure. You also see that this space station is oriented upside down relative to the planet. So as it moves, the planet will almost be taking up the majority of the viewpoint at any particular point in time, with the star not immediately crossing in front, so it doesn't blind people. It's kind of like actively held in this safe orientation. But you can see all of this approaching, and because it is 8:20, we're going to take a quick break as we arrive at the Katy Did Corral and Casino. So thank you guys for sticking with us so far. We will be back in just 10 minutes, and we will see you then. and welcome
In the
back to
countdown.
Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you are sticking with us through the break, thank you very much. When we left off, you were pulling into the Katydid Corral and Casino, this beautiful self-contained biosphere that in and of itself has this corral and casino. And as you guys are all approaching it on the Tony Express, Shade and Echo, the two of you are seeing this before anybody else. You are also currently interrogating a lobster.
Not interrogating, casually in the same compartment. And
No, I'm just
investigating.
staring at Echo like, is everything okay with Echo? And then I'm gonna kind of look and be like, I would like to speak with Tony before we enter the station. We should go now. I don't.
Echo just kind of
look
looks
over at
back
the
at what is now
lobster.
very clearly a lobster,
I'm like-
and Echo's just like, yes, that is best.
I'm gonna start going towards Tony.
Okay. You make your way out.
Echo follows.
And I mean, Echo, you know the way to the engineering place. If you want to go, you can head back that way. And knocking on the door, very quickly, the door will open up, and you can see Tony. Tony Jr. is also in there, like over at the single seat that's right there. But Tony looks and just goes, "What? Oh, hey, happy birthday! What? We're gonna be there in like 5 minutes, so you know,
This one said that he wanted to talk to you.
yeah."
What was the communicator for?
Oh, the one that I lost.
Yes.
He looks back at you, Echo, and then looks back. Is this a joke
No.
for communicating?
What do you know about the Echo unit? Not this one. 899.
Oh, everybody keeps asking about that Echo unit. They're robbing trains and stuff, but we had a drift car. We could have just escaped at any point, and that detached too. So just try not to make a big deal about it. That's really what kept us safe. I don't know how we're gonna get away if something happens to us now, but he turns and like looks back out. We're gonna be there in like 2 minutes. All right. Do you need anything else?
When Shade asked Tony about the Echo unit, Echo was watching Tony Jr.
Okay. Tony Jr. kind of like looks back over for a second. Make a sense motive check.
23.
They very much look just back at you, like this Echo unit, but then look back when it was clearly not that one. No suspicious activity. Tony looks at you. Are you saying anything else to Tony?
While I'm saying this,
Yeah.
is there anything in we're in like the engine room now?
Yeah, so you just passed through the engine room. You're now at the door of what is like the engine itself, the cockpit. And so Tony is like in the door. He's talking to you through it. Behind him, you see like gleaming, brand new, cutting edge computers and very state of the art systems.
Is there a comm system? So basically, all the money has gone into this area of the train.
Almost, at least in terms of the train, yes.
Okay.
Certainly. 99.9%.
Is there a comm system? There's got to be an integrated comm system.
Yeah, you can see it, and you've heard him speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to access that to see if it's tried to make any outside contact.
Okay. So you're looking at the ship's
I'm
communication
trying to hack into
system.
the ship's
Sure, make a computer
system.
check.
And Echo wanders away a little bit, kind of like, I'm not part of this.
Okay.
And heads over to the fire elemental.
Okay. Yeah, you head over. You see in the window, they're just around this reactor.
24.
24? Yeah, I mean, you can hack into it pretty easily. You just succeeded the DC to do so. You can see relatively simple countermeasures as a firewall, and that's pretty much it. You can see it's designed to let off a audible alert in the cockpit as well, but you bypass that no problem. You can see in the communications node there have been several outgoing calls to USR Hazmat, to the USR Galactic Police. Tony called. It looks like their insurance company, like a lot of people relating to this accident. They called their lawyer. And then you also see there's like a break in that kind of stuff. And then there was a contact coming in from Harbinger Robotics. There was contact coming in again from like all those different agencies. USR Hazmat called back like 3 or 4 times. And the most recent call was to the Kitty Corral and Casino, just to probably to notify them that they're arriving, because it's like literally a minute ago.
Then I would ask, what was the call about with Harbinger Robotics?
What are you talking about?
Someone.
How do you know that even? They want to do
doesn't
cargo
matter.
when we get there.
There's something of interest to 899 on your train. We're trying to help, but you need to tell us everything.
I really don't know what else you want me to tell you. Maybe you could talk to the Harbinger Robotics folks if you have some business with them, but a whole bunch of these passengers are getting off the train. I'm going to lose a lot of money, and Harbinger are going to ship a whole bunch of just bullshit empty, what are they called, component pieces and things like that. And so I can break even at the very least. And there's a few other people that are paying for cargo as well. You're not asking about them, so what's the deal with Harbinger? Why do you have anything against them?
There was contact made.
Yeah, when I put out a post looking for people who needed quick cargo moved, they called back.
Fair enough. And I'm gonna walk away.
Okay.
Not making friends, man.
Echoes
not trying to
at the
make
fire
friends.
elemental's door.
And says, "If you please, I do have some questions. Would you mind if I called my friend to be used as a translator?"
So you like press the little communicator and you say that through, and then they turn and they press something, and you don't speak Ignan, correct?
Nope.
You just hear like a roaring fire.
Echo calls up Spice and says,
Would you be willing to translate?
Spice doesn't answer her phone.
Oh.
Because Spice finds Gibbs. Where's Gibbs?
You
we're,
were
like,
all in the
fucking
same room.
around.
I literally
Yeah.
just brought you guys all
Oh,
in the
okay.
same room.
So we just talk behind Bub's back. We both I make eye
Well,
contact.
what I'll do is, I'll just like look over at Gibbs and like, look at the door, with her head, and drag her outside.
Oh, I gotta pee.
And
Should I
then-
pee here? And then when he's like, no, don't pee here, I'm like,
What door? The one we just left?
no,
I
I
don't
go to
care.
the door
So-
with the snakes. Gonna go piss some snakes.
Yeah, Bubs is fine with
Cool.
the guys.
Okay, so then
Lady
she's gonna
time!
pull you down into one of the seats and go, Gibbs, I have a problem, and it needs to be brought up before we get to the casino.
Is it your addicting crisis to casinos?
Precisely.
Oh, here.
No, it's, what do you mean here?
Adhere. Adhesion.
Oh, okay.
Adhesion.
So she adhesions our hands together.
So it does need to be, I believe, a non-biological component as part of that.
So then we just go, I don't think it works like this.
Oh wait, hold on. To the bottle.
Okay.
And
Well,
So-
it'd be 2 things.
Interestingly, are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so interestingly, as you cast that from the bottle, there's just this, and it's like it doesn't work. This bottle seems to be, at least from this spell, not something that you can,
Here?
not adhere, but not something that you can chemically alter. And you think about this kind of gross garbage juice that Gibbs has. If this was a fragile device or something that could easily be broken or altered, it would dissolve. It would break. You've seen like bones disappear into this stuff. So,
yeah, and I realize like the bottle is me and I am the bottle. And I'm like, oh wait. Okay. Well, hold on. Handcuffs. You've got handcuffs.
Of course I do.
Okay. So, I will be your moral compass, and I will drive you to safety.
Okay, thank you. It's a huge ask, because I know I've been really bad about what happened at Magenta.
Hey,
And
lean into the bad feeling.
lean into the bad feeling.
That's shame. Those are motivating emotions. They're gonna motivate you to do the right thing. Sometimes you need to learn from the bad to make better choices. But when those things fail, because they will,
Yeah.
handcuffs.
Yeah, when in doubt, handcuffs. I love it.
Okay. And mechanically, Gibbs and Spice will now be handcuffed until further notice.
Okay. Mechanically and for flavor, and literally you are handcuffed together.
Cool. And I'm gonna spit into the locks
Okay.
to like, not corrode because that would be like opening, but like to gunk them up.
Okay. No
So I'm gonna use
problem.
my gunk to gunk it.
So you, and signature spell, and it glows and a little bit, and it just crusts and hardens and just
You know what?
becomes like.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a wisp ally to help the AC of this item that's kind of like a fragile thing to be like a little bit buffer.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
So you
So I'm gonna
spend that with
spell a
spell line.
slot.
The DC to break this or otherwise detach it has gone up by 5.
Cool.
So you do that. The wisp, and then just kind of hardens, and parts of it crack and peel away, but parts of it just stay.
I just feel. Before I wasn't realizing that I've been using people for financial gain, and all I've been focusing on is the financial part of bounties, or, spending all of Bubbles' money, and I can't be doing this anymore.
And you guys
I
are
need you to
now
stop me.
beginning to see lights as you are pulling into the actual sphere itself. There's a very noticeable jolt as suddenly there is atmosphere around the train now.
Spice Babe, that's
it-
survival.
Onto this platform and begins to coast in as a landing. And you arrive in the Katydid Corral and Casino. Give me just one moment here.
Sorry, I rejected your Ignon request.
I mean, it's in character. You never put it.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
you
the one
arrive. You can see the Corral and Casino just opens up before you. There are beautiful motes of glowing green light that just kind of fly over, and as you look out, you can see these are not just like little projections or anything. These are small, what look like almost crickets, just flying through the air, and their wings, as every time they flap, they seem to bioluminesce along the edges.
That's so cool.
And so they're just like these little moving, almost like glitter in the air. They fill the atmospheric dome, and as you look up past them, you can see spectrally projected onto the atmospheric dome. There are little like motes of stars that form these celestial kind of constellations that drift across. Excuse me. And up above, you see just this huge planet sprawling out as this station is suspended upside down, oriented to the planet itself. And you do see that there is a sign that indicates this huge marble path in front of you is called Katydid Lane. It is formed of blocks of smooth white synthetic stone laid down to form like a 25-foot wide path. And at the very end, maybe like 600, 700 feet away, you see this rising tower, rotating columns, this huge casino, floor upon floor upon floor of gambling. And there's like this ding, and you hear, "Hey, we've arrived at the Katydid Corral and Casino. And remember, if you kept your ticket, half off at the casino. All right, go win something for Tony."
Spice just grabs Gibbs'
And the-
thigh.
The little thing just like cuts off. And you can see there are like golden banisters that rise up on either side of the lane, separating the path from these like topiary rows. And then off to the left, you can see it is billed as the Ranch of Rest. And this is a large, almost series of terraces that each have these small individual villas. And you see, it looks like each villa privately occupied. There's little pools, like these beautiful, relaxing abodes.
There's a little black and white cat that crosses our path.
Yeah, just goes across, and you can tell its name is Hydrox. But as it like walks off and into that area, on the other side, you can see what is billed as the Rowdy Rodeo. And this seems to be a little bit more traditionally what you would think of as a corral or as a ranch or as a strip club. There is like pulsing music and lights and much darker buildings,
Anita?
wrought iron staircases.
They're gonna need
like a
someone to
raunchy
fill
version
in
of the hamster dance.
Yeah, exactly.
Lord.
the performance
Just
slot.
like, I love this song.
You see like a door opens up at one of these buildings, and you see just two like Yosoki in lingerie, and it's just you're a-dee-dot, and it just the door closes. Yeah,
That gives us Nexus character.
all you hear is just behind, but no problem. So, Shade, you were saying something?
Was I? I don't know. I'm walking out of the. I'm presumably meeting back up with Echo outside of the piloting car into the engineering car.
Yeah, up to you.
Guess. I mean, yeah, I wasn't really waiting for us to go.
Okay.
Echo's just kind of like, hold on, I will. She usually picks up.
Just again and again. And you could see like this huge fire elemental just kind of shrugs and continues to like work. But the train trickles in and the doors open up and people begin to pour out. And instantly you can see these hazmat teams kind of meet people. They begin to spray them down as they leave. And Bubbles, you can see like these are just sanitizing sprays. And like this is a breath of fresh air already that you can't smell. The air feels cleaner as it comes in.
The doors opened on each car.
They open in like that, and
So
yeah,
our
every
cars
car
have
opened
doors?
up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just imagine Bubs going outside and like, the spa has come to me.
Basically,
He
yeah.
does like one of those Sound of Music, Julie Andrews like spins.
Who is up in the with like the rest of the passengers right now? It's the three of you.
No.
No, we're
No,
in the
we're
engineering.
just-
I assume we're with
You guys are just
passengers, 'cause
ahead
I
of them. I
pulled
think you
out.
guys are
We're-
kind of getting close to that area.
So
No, you guys
we
were
were
more than me.
we're at the snake car
Yeah,
having
so
this
you guys are like
conversation.
three cars behind where all of
You're in
them
the
are.
dining car right now. If you move one car from where the snake car is, you're in the dining car.
Okay.
No one is.
Oh, great!
Nobody.
There's no one here, right?
No.
So I drag Spice through my addiction,
Okay.
which is a dining car unoccupied, which means everything is free.
Oh, Spice.
Sort of. You go over to the dining car and you get over, and everything is
Covered in
shuttered.
shit.
Everything is locked.
You didn't have time to lock with the snakes.
Yeah, then he wouldn't have had time to lock and cover.
This seems
protected from
automated. Like when it
Oh.
pulls into the station, it probably shuts.
Oh.
There is no like you pull in all excited, little salt packets on each table. There's a maple syrup thing left on one of the tables, and that's
This
pretty
is
much it.
disappointing.
It was like Shaggy
Wouldn't it
and
all
Scooby-Doo,
be
just,
misted in like a
against the
coat
glass.
of?
Urine,
It's
yes,
scary.
very much. But the hazmat teams begin to like enter
Takes all
in.
the salt packets.
I'm gonna text the group and just be like, meet up, dining cart, plan, watch train while in station, Echo get on now. Da, 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 da.
Before responding to that, I'm gonna meet back up with Echo,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, I don't think that Tony is directly involved, but there was contact about Harbinger.
I believe Harbinger, if involved, would mostly be looking for a buyer's perspective. However, I do not think they have anything to do with this either.
We should meet up with the rest of the team.
That's what I say.
There's
People
still something.
beginning to spill out onto the platform, and I would say for any of you who look out onto the platform right now from any of the cars, in addition to the hazmat teams, you can see a warm-skinned Lashunta who approaches, flanked by a trio of, from the waist up, very much they look like women, but then from the waist down, just surfing. And this seems to be a species that's almost the opposite of what Lola from Lola's Diner is. Bottom part snake, top part human. But they approach, and you can see one of them holds up a sign that just says
Slit sauces.
Thad, and it's just a welcoming party for the bachelor party likely. You see a number of people who are coming up with like various bits of cars. You see the two Lashunta get off almost immediately and storm towards like these private ships that are waiting off in a separate area. But people are beginning to get off, and
What's Shore Point doing? Are they staying?
you haven't seen them, and as far as you can tell, they're still back in that cart.
Yeah.
Oh, come with me.
Yeah. Okay.
You and you can see there. So two Tony Express blankets have been laid across the corpse of two Shore Point people, and you see the three of them who are like just like still standing guard.
Bubs is gonna go back in the car. He's like, guys, I just made a deal with you, Gibbs. What the heck?
I'm just looking at them. I didn't go in.
All right, fine.
I thought the deal was to keep an eye on them.
It's fine. It's not a big deal.
I just wanted to know if they were leaving or not. We're parked. Didn't you feel the kunk?
I know, but Gibbs, just don't go in there, okay?
I'm not. I'm literally right here. But look, We're gonna stay together.
We're staying together.
Dun dun. Look, now it's easier to watch. You just have to watch one of us.
Oh,
2 for the price of 1.
are those... Are... Oh,
Don't think about it too hard.
I...
There.
So kinky.
They are very fluffy. These hand
But now they're sticky.
We can get new ones, babe. Don't worry.
Why?
But not here. Why not? When in Rome.
When in Rome, you handcuff yourself to someone? I don't
Yeah, we're gonna go dancing.
So
Is
wait,
that
wait.
something that happens? What?
Did you get my text? I want to meet up with Shade and
Echo.
Echo.
The other.
The other Echo. I was like, it's not Echo because we're looking for Echo. I mean, I wa-
899.
yeah, I keep fucking that up. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I hate names.
Are we gonna start calling you 5?
No, we're supposed to
Didn't she
call
say
899
Echo would be
899. We're supposed to call Echo
Android
Echo,
racism.
but I fuck it up.
Yeah. We can meet up. I just have to text Shade. And I'm gonna message Shade. Shade. Do you guys want to meet up over here in this location, and that way I can still keep an eye on what's going on with SharePoint?
I'm also imagining that Bubs does in the text as well.
But he also does the like asterisk, like ooh ooh, or like asterisk get sweaty. Bubs is the kind of guy who roleplays in his texts.
Yeah, Shade's just gonna ping coordinates right outside of the train,
Okay.
basically.
So you'll
To
have
everyone.
a waypoint set up right outside the train.
There's a cargo car in between first class and passenger car, yes.
Correct.
This
is, I believe, the secure cargo cart, and so you saw before it had like vats of acid in it.
Echo looks for like a discreet place on the wall, somewhere to like that's relatively flat and yet out of the way.
Okay. In that car.
Mhm.
For what purpose?
Graffiti.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Make a perception check. I wait to hear it every time, and then it doesn't make sounds, and it freaks me out for a second. Thank you. Thank you.
17.
With the 17, you look around the cart, and behind any of the vats, until they're moved, you could like scrawl something into the wall, and nobody would see it.
Echo like goes to the wall and scrawls Paleades returned,
Okay.
and then to like one of the vats of acid, just like a little tiny arrow going that way.
Okay.
Mirage dagger, like scratching it into the train.
No problem. It burns through the metal a little bit and very quickly cools down, and you carve that in, no problem. So are you all rendezvousing outside of the train now?
I wanted to take a look at the engineering station while I was in there.
Oh yeah, make
to
a
see-
perception check. What are you looking for?
So I know that there's been suspicion of a leaky reactor. I'm looking at this potentially leaky
No
reactor.
check. It's actively leaking such that you can see there is like bits of radiation that are causing a distortion to the visual part of the room, in addition to the heat coming from Jarvis.
So without a check, also very easily utilized to create some sort of havoc in a potentially deadly situation
Yeah,
with
it
an
could be.
echo unit who is known for killing in
For
situations
leaving
like this.
no witnesses,
Yeah.
perhaps?
Okay.
Could be.
Is there anything that I could do to shore this up in some way so that it is at least like not gonna like if someone tries to tamper with it, can I set up some sort of countermeasure to prevent that or to alert me that someone is trying to tamper with it?
If you let me know what that's going to be, yeah, you certainly can.
I guess like implanting something into either the door, or if there's a part of the chamber itself, like a containment mechanism or
Yeah.
something that's keeping it from being an explosive reactor.
Sure.
Implanting something in it so that if someone accesses that system, it alerts me.
Yeah, you certainly could. So make a computer's check. You have to get right up to the window and basically like lean your head against it, and so you see this fire elemental turn and just like wave to you. But yeah,
28.
no problem. You go over and you access the mechanism that houses this. It's off, and so not only is this leaking, it's entirely unshielded. But kind of like shunting this reckless Gosha violation aside, you put in just a segment of code to ping you should anybody access this in any way.
Okay.
No problem.
Cool. And then I'm gonna go to the coordinates that I just sent.
Is anybody else doing anything before they leave the train?
Where's the coordinates that he said?
Right outside the train.
I would
Okay.
put them probably closer to the back so that we could still like see the shore point
Okay.
Sure.
car.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
But like not right next to it. You know?
I hold up a little sign on a notebook to short point, and it says BRB. And I like plump it, wait for them to look at it, and then I go bye.
I would stop her from doing that.
I do all of that.
Okay. So as you guys fighting a little bit, and Gibbs, you kind of get it out. For what it's
Spice's
worth,
arm is just like flopping.
from the outside, you can't see in. It's like the kind of like one
So I do it
sort of
before,
thing.
like I'm doing it at the porthole window.
Oh, okay. So
Before.
like briefly, you boom before boom, like Bubs pulls you away, but you definitely got it up there. If they wanted to see it, they did.
Cool.
Whether they wanted to or not, that's kind of up for debate. But no problem. You all make your way off of the train. Finally. You get off the train and you can see the snake humanoids have met up with the Woyoko, and they like kind of sweep this bachelor party up into their arms, and they begin to go away. You see Tony is out there right now talking to that warm-skinned Lashunta, and they seem to be having sort of a tense conversation before Tony looks over, and you can see he looks at all of you and his eyes light up, and he like points over at all of you, and you can see the Lashunta looks back at all of you somewhat skeptically, and they begin to pull up their communicator. You guys doing anything?
I want
I would
to
walk over.
sense motive. Is he throwing us under the train?
So
I'm walking
Shay's beginning to walk over. Make a sense motive check. What are you doing?
Spice just yells Tony and raises both of her hands and like gives us with it.
You just hear, hey! And then like Tony and this Lashunta begin to walk towards you guys.
Okay.
And you can hear Tony just going, I was just telling you about these guys. We're friends. And like they walk up towards
Introduce
you.
us, Tony.
What's 18 plus 15?
23. 32?
32.
30. So 31.
31.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
33
for negative
was
levels.
specific.
So with the 31,
33. 32.
33.
So 32.
you look at them. And you like zoom in your eyes as close as you can. It's like a little bit of the trash juice just gets in your eye, and it's like the like almost like a zoom effect, and it's like you can read his lips, and he's just saying, "Hey, it's not my problem. I'm really sorry, but you need somebody to fight in a pit. Hey, there's some bounty hunters here." And then that's like when he turns and points at you guys, and you can see she looks over skeptically, and then she looks back and she says, "I've never heard of Mosaic Team 5," and then like begins to look through.
And
the
I
data
mind
pad.
link with everyone simultaneously with my new circlet.
Yeah.
And I just say, they want us to fight in the pit.
Hey guys, this lady needs you to fight in the pit. Tony's saying, like, as you said that.
Yes,
over.
of course I accept.
I'm gonna whisper calm to everyone. Do not say anything.
Spice is yelling it.
Spice.
And this Lashunta comes up and just says, I hear you're all Mosaic Team 5.
Yes.
Correct.
We could really use your help. The one and only Katie Did Queen was supposed to fight some snakes that were aboard Tony's train. And she turns, and you can see all of a sudden this huge, like several trash bags of melted snakes and like gross, dilapidated scales are being dragged out in these huge 50-gallon black contractor bags. One of them splits, and there's just guts that go everywhere. She gets a little paler, and she goes, "But that's not going to happen. So we need somebody to fight her. We'll pay."
We
Spice
already
raises her
are on
hand.
a job.
What? Come on, they need somebody to fight.
It would really only take maybe 20 minutes, and there's a
Who is
whole
your
hour to
reporting
go.
officer?
Say again?
Who is your reporting officer?
Reporting officer, and Tony looks and then just goes, "Oh no, she works for the Slithotha strip show. A bar called the Viper's Pit puts it on." And she turns and she nods and she says, "Well, technically I work for the Katydid Corral and Casino that owns this entire venture, but yes."
I'm gonna at this point walk up and join the conversation.
Okay.
What's going on?
They want us to fight in the pit in a strip show.
I think this would be a good opportunity.
You don't need to do any kind of stripping. You just need to survive against the Katydid Queen. And she's not going to try to kill you. She's just very good at fighting.
Perhaps it would not be in our best interests, considering it would bring a lot of attention, particularly to someone who would be fighting the Katydid Queen.
Yeah, Donna Valentine, duh.
Whose face
Did
is
I
well
mention
known.
if you win, you're bounty hunters, right? You're trying to raise your profile, presumably.
Yes?
The winner gets a statue commission within the actual stadium. I mean, nobody's beaten the Katydid Queen in about 2 years.
Guys, I am naturally the one who's gonna beat the queen.
Is it 1-1 or is it 5v1?
Well, it was supposed to be 3 snakes, and I suppose if there's 5 of you, that would be almost fair. Do you have one more friend, maybe, who could join you?
Tony!
Tony looks and goes, "Oh, no, I'm not looking to get my
Tony
ass kicked."
Jr.
You can see Tony Jr. is not anywhere to be seen, but Tony just goes, no, my son's not into that kind of thing. Okay, he's a good boy, Tony.
Neither are we.
And at this point, the Lashunta says, "My name is Drechai, by the way."
Dracia?
Drechai.
Dreche.
Okay.
It's one of those names that like they say it like it should be very easy, but there's definitely like a subtlety to it.
Dreche. Dreche.
I
Drechai.
missed that. Who is Drechai?
Drechai
The
is
woman we're
the
talking about.
warm-skinned Lashunta.
Oh,
You can see relatively short hair going down to about the shoulders, wearing this crisp, meek uniform that is the Katydid Corral and Casino, like light blue and gray. But she turns and just says, "And we can give you 50,000 credits. Win or lose."
Dollars in her eyes spin over.
If we were interested, how would we contact you?
They take their communicator and just offer it up to whoever.
Slice test.
Any of you can add Drechai, Draechai, all one word.
Drae.
Chai, like chai tea latte.
Cool, that's how I read it.
To your communicating list. And they say, the show is in about an hour, and it only should last about 20 minutes. I would recommend not drinking beforehand, and do any of you get motion sick?
Oh, no, but sometimes if like I
Just
watch...
don't eat before.
Oh, okay.
Why?
It's just very loud, and she moves very quick. And so people have a habit of getting dizzy, and we've had people throw up before.
Can I look up the Katydid Queen?
Make a
on
cultures
the,
check.
Infosphere?
Yeah, make
My
a cultures
extra
check.
dice.
So is it 6v6 or is it 6v1?
I don't know, shit.
Well, all of you would be fighting her.
Can we do a half and half? You were only expecting 3 snakes, so.
Right, but they were beasts, and we're supposed to be more scary. We're gonna have to build you up.
Echo's also looking into the Katydid Queen.
Make a cultures check. What was your check?
It was bad.
Okay.
It was a 3.
You see the Queen Katydid, a species that exists on old Earth. Lots of different things come up, none of which are helpful.
Oh, cool. Also helpful.
22.
Oh, helpful.
2 2s.
Nice.
Not
With
4.
22. You pull up the infosphere and you search Katydid Queen dash Katydid Corral and Casino dash Fight Pit. Tons of videos come up. You see the videos are of this beautiful Lashunta woman who is wearing what looks like this is like Valkyrie armor in that like it's video game like doesn't look, it's not concealing in any way, but the plates itself, they seem to gleam and seem to be some kind of maybe natural carapace. And in every video that you see, you can see it just shunting aside laser blasts. You see it take projectile weapons and just turn that aside. She seems to be using hard light projected wings to fly, and she is very fast. It seems like in one moment she can shoot and attack with a melee weapon in the same go and move, do it again, and then move. This is an individual who seems almost born to do this. This style very much designed for this arena. And actually, Echo, I would say with that role, you look a little bit more into it, like who is this person? How do they learn to fight this way? And I would say you come up with people speculating at the Kitty Dick Corral and Casino paid for some additional training. Give me just one moment. That's a good roll. I'll find it in a second. They paid for some additional training for this person. Their combat style is significantly polished to the point where people speculate that this is probably former military, something like that.
What's their facial features like?
Their facial features, give me 1 second. You can see they have almost like a faded pink, like dusky looking eye color. They have long black hair that seems to be like ever so slightly transitioning to like a lighter color near the root. They have these almost like lavender antennae that are very similar to the ones that Spice has.
Okay, guys, but like it's 50,000 credits like for 20 minutes, or it's 70,000
We will
credits.
discuss this, and then we will respond.
Okay, I just need to know pretty soon, or else I have to find somebody else.
We'll let you know soon.
Like 10 minutes soon.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
She goes and she begins to pull up the communicator to hear her say, I might have found somebody. It's not great, but it will do. And they just like head off into the crowd.
What is the likelihood that we survive? She's gone. Never mind.
They're not
For
gonna
what
kill
it's
us
worth,
to
Echo,
show
in the
stuff.
videos that you see, nobody dies. Make a sense motive check.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just rolling.
Something bothers you about some of the videos and you can't quite tell what it is.
25.
And with the 25, suddenly you recognize, watching this again and again and again, there are videos where like you see it's like, okay, the queen almost loses, like exclamation mark, and you see like armor almost blasted away and everything. But the way that she's moving looks almost entirely unhurt, and there's something weird about that to you, but hard to tell exactly what it is with the 25.
Some WWE.
That's my thought was WWE.
I'm so ready for this.
We will most likely be required to lose. It will not help our public relations.
It's 50,000 regardless.
Also,
though.
we are after 899. We know nothing more than we did before we got to the corral.
Echo pulls up one of the videos of the Queen's movements. The movement, however, is very suspicious.
Incredibly fast.
Guys,
Oh,
She is faster than I am.
do you think she's 899?
There is a potential.
Can I squint at it? Does the species make sense? Could this be an android dressed up?
Make a life sciences check.
Sure.
You pull this video up. You pull up a couple other ones, some of which are not safe for work.
Yeah.
oh, if it's not safe for work, then
No, I'm saying like there is a lot of material
picture
that exists.
13.
13.
Not on the company computer.
But yeah, as you kind of like boot it up, it's just like it kind of crashes your communicator, and like some of these images begin to disappear, and like you're not really sure
A log has been
Wait,
filed.
why is there so many pop-ups now?
Yeah, just a lot of pop-ups coming up. Hot singles in your area. You see this like chiseled Yosoki, like all kinds of stuff
probably
coming
not
up.
wearing
but-
disguises.
Yosoki DTF. Knows me so well.
Yeah.
No, what I meant to say was, there is potential that they are augmented and have specialized training. What better method to be trained than by a combat android?
You think that they know 899, not that they are 899.
The costume suggests more organic components.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, I mean, even with your check, it's hard for you to tell, but Echo, with yours, I mean, this is a hourglass figure. Like, there is a lot of women and very few mechanical parts, if any.
Guys, don't we have to watch the train still, though? I mean, we don't even know if the thing was stolen. Why would we, take our eyes off it?
Well, Short Point's got it.
Yeah, no,
but here's my
No,
thought.
guys, we can't just
We
decide.
can't
like,
What, are you gonna
rely
sit
on
on the
short
train?
point.
But here's my thought. This train is rickety, and we've got to ride it all the way to Prime Station. If we invest a little into fixing some of the issues, we might have a little bit less of a red herring.
Amen. Yes.
No, I'm saying we spend money to make money.
Yes.
You hear a familiar voice getting off the train. It is Anita Mantonite.
Yes,
and you can
Anita!
see She
I
has
need a
her-
girl.
She's dressed up a little bit more conservatively. She has her arms on either side of Jim Jammers, who looks just like pale. His like kind of like thinning hair is all frazzled up. He has bite marks on him. He's a little swollen in places.
Anita, you want to make 10K credits?
She turns and like first she pauses at that and she goes, "Why?"
Because we need a 6th.
To fight the
No,
Viper
what?
Queen.
Oh, that's not really my thing.
I thought we were still talking about it. Why
Yeah,
are we
but
making
look at
decisions?
this photo of her.
Well,
we can
we-
make the
if we-
big bucks.
Gibbs, why do you always
We
make
need to
decisions for
have
everyone?
a conversation.
With
You
all
are
due
not
respect.
If we
making
were
a
going to
decision.
go that way, we need a 6th, right?
Seems
You
like
don't
we're not part
start
of this.
doing that.
Echo
before
just
we make a
waves. It's
decision.
like goodbye.
And she just waves to you. Jim Jammers just gives you a very vacant wave. He is like, this is PTSD all day.
No, Spice is gonna grab Anita's hand while you guys fight.
Okay, so she stops and
Oh.
goes, yes.
Well, do you guys want to keep fighting or what?
So yeah,
we
presumably
do-
they're still like
Okay.
arguing right now. This is you catching, like, you have a moment to talk.
Okay, we need a 6th person to fight the Viper Queen, and I really want to do it. Do you know how to fight? The
Not
Viper
like
Queen specifically?
the Katydid Queen?
Yes.
No. My fighting talents are a little different than the ones that you need, I think.
She like winks and snaps in her direction.
Anyways, she like turns and kind of gestures to this like shaken up guy, and she says, "And anyways, it's been a long day."
I'll see you at the rodeo.
Maybe.
Rusty Rodeo or whatever the shit it was, and then waves.
She stops and she says, I think he needs a little bit more rest. And so we're going to go over and
Now, what's the rest one?
Restful.
Yeah, Ranch
The
of
ran-
Rest.
the Ranch of
Ranch
Rest.
of Rest. Okay.
if any of your friends were bitten or are especially tired, they might want to try the package there.
Heard. Thank you, Anita.
She turns and like takes Jim Jammers on his way. You guys can finish your fight.
No, I think we. I think we invest in the repairs into the train.
You don't go about doing that before making the plan.
This
What's
is
the plan? What's the plan?
We haven't decided. This
Okay.
doesn't
Yeah, we
make
take
any
forever.
sense relative to the mission unless this person knows something about 899. We need to discuss this. I need more information from Echo.
So we've got 10 minutes. Echo, do you have more than you've presented?
What is the likelihood that this person knows or is involved with 899 based on your information?
I have a theory only. It is not actionable. My theory is that while they are probably in contact with someone who is of great speed with great combat ability, this would be a logical hub for 899 to offload. And what better way to stay incognito than as a pit fighter?
With all the cameras.
Yes, I agree. Into the pit we go.
They
Hold
would
on.
not necessarily be the one in the spotlight. They would be the coach.
There are many people in these hazmat suits also, for what it's worth, going onto the train, coming off the train. And like you see this human, kind of like a pot belly. He's wearing the coveralls, but much more casually, like they're zipped down a little bit. He is holding like a half full contractor bag, and he comes out and looks at Tony, and you can hear maybe like 50 feet off where Tony is like still talking to people. They just kind of go, "All right, Tony, it's all yours. We got the snakes off. Start loading stuff up." And they just begin like heading off, pulling these trash bags of snake away. And as the two of you are talking, you can see like people begin to bring like crates and other things that are being loaded aboard. You can see there's
Do any of them
food.
look suspicious?
While the two of you are speaking, there are these two carts that are like wheeled up and like these squeaky wheels, and they're stopped, and you can see the porter stops and like looks at both of you before seeing Tony and going over and like getting Tony's signature. There are these carts. I mean, there are two huge metallic wheeled racks that are coming through. And Echo, actually, Echo and Shade, both of you just roll a d20.
14.
Okay.
20.
Okay.
You rolled a natural 20?
Nice.
Wow.
Okay. Shade, you don't know, but you remember seeing racks very similar to this. The last time that you had seen them was in the Harbinger Robotics factory. And these were racks that had held row upon row upon row, perhaps 6 each, of the
Orbitals.
CBRs, the controlled burn units. Sorry, CBUs. These were robots designed for like forest clearing and things of that nature.
Yeah, the ones that burned down the factory that we were, or not the factory, but the facilities.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But could be used to house a variety of different like robotic frames.
And these are going to Prime Station, correct?
As
Far
you
as
don't
that
know.
we know,
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to keep eyes on the train at all times.
So what, are you gonna just sit in the train until we leave?
I agree with the captain.
We need to have
You
an
didn't answer my
actionable.
question.
If there's some way that we can do both, that is the ideal situation.
I don't think we could convince her to do both. She's already disappointed with 5 of us.
I'm talking about. I'm just gonna like not talk to anyone for a second.
Okay.
Can I implant my ghost into? Is there like some sort of security camera that's like
Yeah.
on the train right now? So that
Not
I
on
can
the train.
keep-
Oh yeah, like pointed towards
yeah.
the train. Yeah. So as you look up, there are these like brass-looking lampposts that are part of the decor that kind of blend into the railings that run along the main path.
Mhm.
And off of each one of those, you can see this little security camera hanging off.
Cool.
So yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna implant ghost into that so that I can just monitor that for however long, an hour 20 that we're doing.
No problem.
And then I'm just gonna be like, fine, we can do this.
We should tell Shorepoint to call us if there's anything suspicious.
I'm monitoring this train.
But isn't 4
We
eyes
can't-
better than...
Rely on ShorePoint. We don't know what their involvement is yet. Did you find anything about this from Lydell?
Let me tell you how that conversation went. Lydell did not take my call, which I thought was a little bit suspicious, even though both Peter and us are working for the same man.
You call it Peter.
Yeah.
That means he likes Peter more than you. I'm just saying facts, man.
No,
Spice
that
just
means
glares at you.
there's even more reason to doubt
Well, I
our
think we should play
alliances
along with it
ShorePoint.
and see it, play dumb. See where it goes.
Suddenly Tony like comes up a little bit out of breath. He just goes, "Oh, hey guys, I just need to know, you guys are.
Yes,
Oh,
we're
sorry.
in, Tony. Relax.
What?
That's not what.
I was just gonna say, you guys are staying on to Prime Station, right?
That's
I don't have to
correct.
rebook your seats, all right?
Yeah, there's something I want to see at Prime Station.
But can I get a refund?
For what?
There was a lobster in my seat.
Like cooked?
like an arthropod.
I'll be right back. I'll check that out. But probably not. Let me look.
Cool. Once he's gone, I continue our conversation.
Just trying to get to the bar, and he just like goes back to the train.
I don't feel bad. His negligence caused this problem.
We'll do this. We'll get back to the train.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Stay focused.
Okay, just to be clear, I'm not going to attempt to win this fight. I'm not going to spend any resources to win this fight. I have no incentive to win this fight because we make $50,000 win or lose, and I'm not going to spend my energy on it, and I kind of need a nap.
I too require a rest period.
A nap. So, let's go, but I'm tired.
Quick question.
Yeah.
To take a nap, would that be possible before the fight?
No,
No, so the fight's happening
yeah,
at
yeah.
this
Like
point.
an hour.
Yeah.
Well, at this point in like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and you guys are leaving on the train in about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is Dracia still in
I
like
text her.
line of sight?
We're in.
Quick looking around, yeah, you can see off
gonna-
towards the Rowdy Rodeo.
Light up a cigarette and go walk over to Dracia.
Okay. She looks up as you approach, and you can see sets the data pad down by her side and just goes, "I'm really sorry to rush you, but are you able to
We'll
do
do
this?"
it.
But we don't want to be Mosaic Team 5, so can you think of a better name for us?
Really?
Yes, please.
That's not what we discussed.
We discussed doing it, but why do it while ruining our cover?
Because we need the
Notoriety
fame.
for a fight we're gonna lose?
Well, the Katydid Queen was supposed to fight these Castrovellian cobras, so maybe you could just be the Castrovellian cobras and we could pretend that this was supposed
Like
to
we're like a hockey team. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's like
Is that like lockout?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm kind of worried if, this place, has a lot of, casinos, and casinos go together with mobs, and I just...
It's really just the big casino, and they gesture, and you can see down at the very end this huge casino, multiple turning levels. There are slot machines. You can hear like ringing lights, and you hear the sound inexplicably of coins falling down, even from this great distance. There are like big lights going off, and it's just a huge tower of party.
As I was saying, and I just don't want, the mob to, have any special interest in us, because, it's, when you win big, of a casino, they always pay attention. I'm just gonna
Make a diplomacy
daggers
check.
at Spice when I say that.
Spice is
diplomacy check.
actively hiding.
Gibbs is like,
I can't hear anything.
you know what's gonna be great? Sparkly outfits.
That is 15.
A 15.
Wrestler onesies.
Yeah.
They look at you and they just say, I don't think it's the Mafia. This is a group that owns several casinos. They own the Katydid, of course, but then Star Drive Ranch, the Pale Horse and Rider, 22 Magoo. They own quite a few different places. And so I don't think it's the mob, but just stay out of the casino if you don't want to go.
Great, thank you. Outfits, please.
Yes, this way. And they like take the pad and they begin to like look, and they look at each of you and begin to like type in numbers and things. They say, as you guys are walking, you begin to head towards the Rowdy Rodeo, and you can see signs for the Viper's Pit. You have to kind of walk through areas here. And so as you begin to walk, there's just neon lights everywhere. And you can see these big glass windows with various individuals. You see like one entire building that is just, you had seen them before back in Akaton, this troll kind of species, bright colored hair. You see like 4 just jacked versions of those, all wearing like the Borat's like one-piece Speedo bathing suit. Like, doing like flexing in the window.
That's awesome.
Every species in every flavor that you could ever possibly imagine. And that's just in this like short route down to a staircase. But as you are walking, she turns and just says, is there any weapons that I should have ready for all of you?
Whips for Spice.
Okay.
Yes.
We have those ready.
Yeah, I need the not advanced melee ones.
What sort of weaponry is allowed?
We can make copies of anything that you have. It's really just to make sure that nothing is tampered with.
Oh.
Yeah, I need goo. Some goo.
I'm sorry.
Do you have like sticky gun? The gun that shoots things that are sticky.
Anything that
If you have a model name or number, we could.
I mean, it's just this jar,
They look at your jar and they go, "We have no jars." I could
like
get you a jar.
Various substances.
She leans in and she just says, "I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for, but if you go to the Ranch of Rest and you speak to somebody there named Trisha, just tell them that you're looking to relax real hard."
Drug deals.
Can I get there quickly? Before the fight?
Probably not before the fight, but after.
Okay.
Do you have any tactical heals?
Turns and just says, for weapons, really. But for armor, we'll make you all something relatively passable and snake-themed.
Ooh.
Oh.
Can I have barrettes?
If you would like.
Great.
I like turn on my glamour suit. I can already do snake, and I like goes on a snake theme.
Great.
And,
Fantastic.
I'm gonna use my Dothco. I'm just gonna like take like some markers and I'll like draw like make it like snake themed or something like that.
Ooh, we'll just make, it's just a Dothco. We have a couple already, but we can make something more to your style. And like just looks at all like the marker scrawlings across it.
Echo takes out their Mirage dagger. Something like this.
Very easy to do. And so like one by one, just
yeah.
kind of programs your weapons in.
Cool.
Perfect.
And so you can assume that you'll have copies just a little bit more ornate and flashy.
Okay.
So no problem. You make your way down and through. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So, as you begin to walk, the crowd does become a little bit louder. People are around, and you begin to make your way towards an area that seems to be the source of a lot of music. Give me just 1 second here.
It's
It's
Rude
loose.
Sandstorm. It's on tour.
And though this is a recording, you absolutely might recognize that this is the Rude Sandstorm.
Nice.
The Rude Sandstorm recently went on a little bit of a sabbatical
top
after a
40
concert
right
went
now.
terribly wrong. A number of individuals died in a firework accident. Yes.
Hey, any PR is good PR, right?
Yeah, the PR was good. They're
There
like
was so much
emotionally,
PR.
they're emotionally not doing great after that.
Yeah.
But you make your way to a place that is called the Viper's Pit. And so you can see, like, first you round an area where all of a sudden it opens up and there's like a place where it's almost 2 stories high, like a huge 20-foot tall ceiling. And there is red and purple lights that just light up these 2 stages on either side. You see an area off to the side that in common is called the bullpen, which has a long bench and like a pole that goes down right in front of it. You see there are a few individuals there waiting, although nobody performing, and there is just champagne bottles that are being passed out to people. There is signage up around it that reads, "Step into the Viper's Pit and witness the Katydid Queen." And this individual leads you off in that direction.
Can I take cotton balls and put them in my ears, please?
You absolutely can.
Cool.
So hearing is very important. You stick those cotton balls in your ears.
Echo turns down the audio sensor.
Yeah. So just move down to 30%. So
Cotton balls in your ears?
Vice, no. She
Oh.
like waves them away. She's
No
like,
problem.
I'm gonna drink it in.
So you drink this in as you go by. It is dark. There are flashing lights. There's pulsing music. And before too long, you can hear the shouts and the cheers. The smell is changing as well. And as you get down, bubbles, you don't feel clean air around you. It's becoming humid and just like body heat. You get to a staircase, and it descends about 20 feet and opens up to what looks like a relatively intimate coliseum. In this space, there's a number of people who are all crowded around this big walkway, and then recessed down about 20 feet, there is what looks like a dirt pit. There are 2 columns that rise up, which support a whole series of lights that go down and just illuminate the entire ground. You can see there are 2 statues that look very much like humanoid angels that are kind of flanking the entranceway, looking out over the actual Colosseum itself. And people are around this ring and waiting for action to start. The Lashunta turns and kind of like leads you all off to a side hallway, punches in some numbers, and you guys enter into like a backstage area.
Like a locker room?
So first it's like a
the
little
green
service
room?
hallway, and then you open up into very much what is like a locker room. There's a huge window, a huge mirror that runs all the way along the length, and there's like just lights that go all around it. There are like a series of chairs lined up in front of there and all kinds of different things. But in the center of the room, there's one of those push racks, very much like that has a number of different snakeskin themed armor sets that are almost identical to what you are all wearing, but scales. They come up into like sharp points around the shoulders and wrists, and so it is like somewhat you do resemble in ways the kind of like spiked frills of those cobras. There's nothing sexy about these outfits. They are like relatively form-fitting, but there's nothing strip show about this to you yet.
In Solari culture, some wrestlers wore masks. Would it be possible for us to wear masks as well?
If you would like. You can see she goes down and just looks at you again and just kind of punches a few things in, and you hear off in the corner this little thing start and just print out like a mask very similar to the rest of the armor. Because you said wrestler, it's like a luchador style mask. So
Dope.
big white like eye part, mouth part, and then just like snakeskin.
Little snake vipers.
Echo like passes them out to everyone.
I attach like a ruffle to it, so it's got the like the
hood.
cobra thing. Yeah, the like.
Oh, the fan
Fantastic.
part.
Yeah,
of
the,
her
like-
head. Yeah.
So mine has like a little whoop that like matches my ear holes.
The cobra hole.
Yeah.
Sure. So all of you
high.
can change into your
Might as well just
Cobra
glamour project
outfits.
one.
Glamour projectors on, no problem. And you can see very similar. There are weapons for all of you. Same kind of like ornate snake style. Many of them are a little bit curved and stylized, look like fangs, but very much the exact same thing that you have. Excuse me. This individual kind of guides you all over and says, at the end of this fight, we'll transfer 50,000 credits over to whoever it is that is going to disperse it amongst all of you.
That guy.
Could we potentially get it in hard currency form?
If you would like, yeah.
A card
I
would be
suppose.
lovely.
Could we meet the queen of Katie did before the fight?
Not
chance?
before, but after, yeah.
Could you? I'd be willing to suffice my cut if we could get some special attention from her, but not like in a weird sexy way, just in like I really want to talk to her, even if we lose.
Something like a backstage pass.
So she rolls on her sense motive check and rolls real low. And she just says, the kitty did queen doesn't see clients sexually. So if you're interested in
No.
something-
Like I'm earnest, please. It's like would make me uncomfortable. We're just looking to talk. I kind of am interested in how she learned to fight.
Regrettably, no. But perhaps you can ask her in a spare moment in the arena. And she kind of chuckles a little bit at that. There's no like malice to it, but really it's like you're asking for something that probably can't be accommodated in the 3 minutes before the fight starts.
Cool.
And you can hear the crowd rising in the background as well. But she turns and just says, so just so you're all aware, the Katydid Queen is capable of flying. And if any of you are capable, that's fine as well. Rising above the arena, for sake of keeping the patrons safe, there are laser turrets called CPR lasers that will protect the crowd by shooting things down that fly above a certain height. So I would not fly above the Katydid Queen.
What is that height?
It's anything that rises 10 feet above the battlefield itself will be shot.
And
the
how high
range
is the battlefield?
The battlefield is 20 feet tall.
Okay, so
Or the walls around the
no
pit.
more than 30.
Yeah, and you can actually look and see. Would a visual perspective be helpful? Well, it is 9:30,
Oh God, what a tease!
and so
It's on theme.
as you guys are like talking to this person, and you ask, how tall is this? She turns and just says, "Well, look for yourself." And she goes to open the door, and this is where we'll end for this week, and we will begin
Goes to white.
looking in. Yeah, exactly.
The doors open.
The crowd cheers, and it's next time on Mosaic Team 5. But thank you for joining us for this session. Thank you for joining us after our break. Talon, great to see you. I didn't have my phone for the first half, so everybody else who is here, great to see you as well. We will be back next week with Mosaic Team 5, Session 66. But if you can't wait that long, tomorrow we are going to be playing Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest, Session 29. That is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be there. Matt will be there. Carol will be there. We'll have some other friends as well.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
We should have this session in 4 sessions.
But until then, please stay safe. We'll see you in just a little bit. Bye-bye.
See you, space boyfriend.